You give up easily when a difficulty arises, when progress stagnates, when the results are not what you imagined, when the path becomes more difficult than expected. Giving up is not wisdom. It is weakness disguised as a reasonable decision, and it is destroying your potential. But some people never give up, not because they don't want to give up, but because they have developed a relentless mental strength that overcomes any desire to surrender. This audiobook will teach you how to build that relentlessness. The mental strength that continues when giving up seems like the most rational decision. When giving up seems justified. When stopping seems sensible. Stop giving up when things get tough. Start building the persistence that never surrenders. Chapter 1. You quit because you never built relentlessness. You quit at first difficulty. Quit when progress slows. Quit when motivation fades. Quit when the path becomes harder than expected. Quit when results do not arrive fast enough. Quit when discomfort increases. Quit when obstacles appear. This quitting is automatic. Automatic because untrained. Automatic because you have never built relentlessness. Never trained continuation capacity. Never developed push-through capability. Never created never quit mentality. That is the key. Quitting is default response in untrained people. Default that activates when difficulty arrives. Default that guarantees failure before success becomes possible. You have been quitting your entire life. Quitting jobs when they get demanding. Quitting relationships when they require work. Quitting goals when progress stalls. Quitting dreams when obstacles emerge. Each quit reinforced quitting pattern. Made next quit easier. Made quitting more automatic. Made surrender more acceptable. You're not someone who perseveres. You're someone who quits. This identity was built through repeated quitting. This identity must be replaced through relentlessness training. Consider your quitting history honestly. How many goals have you abandoned? How many pursuits have you surrendered? How many commitments have you broken? Not because they were wrong. Not because they were impossible. Not because they were unworthy. Because they became difficult. Because they required persistence. Because they demanded continuation despite discomfort. You quit diet when weight loss slowed. Quit business when revenue plateaued. Quit relationship when romance faded. Quit training when soreness increased. Quit learning when complexity grew. Quit every single thing that required pushing through difficulty. Required continuing despite wanting to stop. Required persisting beyond comfort zone. The pattern is consistent. The pattern is automatic. The pattern is destroying your potential. Every abandoned goal is potential unrealized. Every surrendered pursuit is achievement prevented. Every broken commitment is success denied. Your quitting pattern has cost you everything you could have achieved, everything you could have become, everything you could have built. This cost is enormous. This cost is tragic. This cost is unnecessary. Quitters quit because they never trained relentlessness. Relentless people continue because they built never quit capacity. You have never trained relentlessness. Never built continuation capacity deliberately. Never developed persistence systematically. Never created never quit mentality through conscious practice. You assumed relentlessness is a natural trait. Assume some people have it naturally. Assumed you either have it or you do not. This assumption is completely wrong. Relentlessness is not natural trait. Relentlessness is trained capacity. Capacity built through specific practice. Capacity developed through systematic training. Capacity created through deliberate not quitting in progressively difficult situations. Every relentless person you admire built their relentlessness. Built it through practice. Built it through training. Built it through thousands of moments where they wanted to quit, but did not. They're not naturally relentless. They're trained to be relentless. Training you lack. Training you need. Training this audiobook provides. David Goggins was not naturally relentless. He was overweight quitter working pest control. He built relentlessness. Built it through deliberate suffering. Built it through voluntary hardship. built it through refusing to quit when everything in him wanted to quit. He teaches you must callous your mind, must build mental toughness through deliberate exposure to hardship, must transform from soft person who quits to hard person who continues. This transformation is not genetic. This transformation is not luck. This transformation is training. Training that builds calluses, mental calluses, emotional calluses, psychological calluses, calluses that protect against pain, against discomfort, against urges to quit. You have no calluses. You're soft. Soft mind quits easily. Soft emotions surrender quickly. Soft psychology gives up automatically. You need calluses, need hardness, need toughness. This toughness is built through training, built through systematic relentlessness development. Starting now, why quitting compounds into permanent failure pattern is critical understanding. First, quit seems justified, seems reasonable, seems like good decision. You quit job because it was wrong fit. Quit relationship because partner was wrong person. Quit goal because it was wrong direction. Each quit had story, had rationalization, had justification. These justifications made quitting feel acceptable, made surrender feel wise, made giving up feel strategic. But here is truth. Here is reality. Here is what you must understand. Each quit made next quit easier. First quit required significant justification, required extensive rationalization, required convincing yourself. Second quit required less justification, required less rationalization, required less convincing. Third quit required almost nothing, just slight discomfort, and you quit. Fourth quit was automatic. No justification needed, no rationalization required, no convincing necessary, just difficulty and quit. The pattern established, the pattern strengthened, the pattern became automatic. You became quitter. Identity formed through repeated action. Action of quitting, repeated hundreds of times. Identity now solid. Identity now permanent. Identity now automatic. You are quitter. This is who you are. This is what you do. This is your pattern. Quitters quit because they never trained relentlessness. Relentless people continue because they built never quit capacity. This identity determines everything. Determines how you respond to difficulty. Determines whether you persist or surrender. Determines whether you achieve or fail. Quitter identity creates predictable outcomes. Difficulty arrives. Quitter identity activates. Quitting happens automatically, consistently, predictably. You cannot achieve significant goals with quitter identity. Cannot build lasting success while surrendering when challenged. Cannot create meaningful achievement while stopping when uncomfortable. The identity prevents achievement, prevents success, prevents accomplishment. Must change identity. Must replace quitter with relentless. Must transform from person who quits to person who never quits. This transformation is available. This transformation is achievable. This transformation requires systematic training. Training in relentlessness. Training in continuation. Training in never quit capacity. This training begins with recognition. Recognition is brutal. Recognition is honest. Recognition is necessary. You are a quitter. Right now. Currently. This is current identity. Current reality. Current truth. You quit when things get hard. Quit when progress slows. Quit when discomfort increases. This is not attack. This is not insult. This is recognition. Recognition necessary for change. Recognition necessary for transformation. Recognition necessary for building new identity. Cannot change what you do not recognize. Cannot transform what you deny. Cannot build new identity while maintaining delusion about current identity. You must see clearly. See honestly. See completely. You're a quitter. You have quitting pattern. You have surrender habit. You have give up reflex. See this. Accept this. Own this. This ownership is power. Power to change. Power to transform. Power to build different identity, different pattern, different habit, different reflex, from quitting to relentlessness, from surrender to continuation, from give up to never quit. This transformation starts with brutal recognition of current reality. Current reality creates future unless changed. Your current quitting pattern will create future quitting. Current surrender habit will create future surrender. Current give-up reflex will create future giving up. Pattern continues unless interrupted. Habit persists unless replaced. Reflex remains unless retrained. You have been hoping pattern changes naturally. Hoping habit disappears automatically. Hoping reflex improves spontaneously. This hope is delusional. Patterns do not change naturally. Habits do not disappear automatically. Reflexes do not improve spontaneously. They require intervention, require deliberate change, require systematic replacement. You must intervene, must change deliberately, must replace systematically, must replace quitting pattern with relentlessness pattern, must replace surrender habit with continuation habit, must replace give-up reflex with persist reflex. This replacement is training. Training this audiobook teaches. Training you must implement. Training that begins immediately. Quitters quit because they never trained relentlessness. Relentless people continue because they built never quit capacity. You have choice now. Choice that determines everything. Everything about your future. Everything about your achievement. Everything about your success. First choice, accept current identity. Accept being quitter. Accept quitting pattern. Accept surrender habit. Accept give-up reflex. This acceptance guarantees future exactly like past. Guarantees continued quitting. Guarantees continued failure. Guarantees continued unrealized potential. This is comfortable choice. Easy choice. Requires no change. Requires no effort. Requires no transformation. Also guarantees nothing changes. Nothing improves. Nothing achieves. Second choice, reject current identity. Reject being quitter. Reject quitting pattern. Reject surrender habit. Reject give-up reflex. This rejection opens possibility. Possibility of different future. Possibility of achievement. Possibility of success. This is uncomfortable choice. Difficult choice. Requires massive change. Requires sustained effort. Requires complete transformation. Also creates everything you want, everything you need, everything you deserve. Choose rejection. Choose change. Choose transformation. Choose building relentlessness. The shift from quitter identity to relentless identity requires understanding identity formation. Identity forms through repeated action. You repeatedly quit. You became quitter. You repeatedly continue. You become continuer. You repeatedly persist. You become persister. You repeatedly never quit. You become never quitter. The mechanism is same. The direction reverses. Currently, repeated quitting created quitter identity. Future, repeated continuing creates continuer identity. Repeated persisting creates persister identity. Repeated never quitting creates never quitter identity. The transformation is mechanical. The transformation is guaranteed. The transformation requires action. Repeated action. Consistent action. Permanent action. Action of not quitting. Action of continuing. Action of persisting. Action repeated hundreds of times. Thousands of times. Until new identity forms. Until new pattern establishes. Until new habit solidifies. Until new reflex automates. You are not changing beliefs. You are not changing thoughts. You are not changing feelings. You're changing actions. Repeated actions. Actions that create new identity. Identity that creates new outcomes. Outcomes of achievement, of success, of realized potential. Implementation begins today. Today you start building relentlessness. Start replacing quitting pattern. Start creating never quit identity. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Today. Now. Immediately. First step is recognition completed. You recognize you're a quitter. You acknowledge pattern. You accepted current reality. This recognition is foundation. Second step is commitment. Commit to building relentlessness. Commit to replacing pattern. Commit to creating never quit identity. Say out loud, I commit to building relentlessness. I commit to never quitting. I commit to becoming person who continues despite everything. Say it. Mean it. Feel it. This commitment is contract. Contract with yourself. Contract you will honor. Contract that begins transformation. Third step is action. Today, identify one thing you want to quit. One thing creating urge to stop. One thing making you want to give up. Do not quit. Continue. Despite urge. Despite desire. Despite rationalization. Just continue. This one continuation starts pattern. Starts building. Starts transformation. From quitter to relentless. From surrender to continuation. From give up to never quit. Quitters quit because they never trained relentlessness. Relentless people continue because they built never quit capacity. You're beginning training now. Beginning building now. Beginning transformation now. This beginning is critical. Critical because pattern must start, must establish, must build. One continuation leads to another. Another leads to another. Each continuation strengthens. Strengthens capacity. Strengthens identity. Strengthens relentlessness. After 10 continuations, you have small capacity. After 100 continuations, you have moderate capacity. After 1,000 continuations, you have significant capacity. After 10,000 continuations, you have relentless capacity. The building is cumulative. The building is guaranteed. The building requires only consistency. Consistency of not quitting. Consistency of continuing. Consistency of persisting. Every single day. Every single challenge. Every single urge to quit. Continue instead. Build instead. Transform instead. This consistency creates relentlessness. Creates never quit capacity. Creates person who achieves because they never surrender. Never stop. Never give up. This person is available to you. This person is achievable by you. This person requires training by you. Training that starts today. Training that continues forever. Training that transforms everything. You understand now that quitting is pattern built through repeated surrender. You understand that relentlessness is capacity built through repeated continuation. You understand that you are currently quitter because you never trained otherwise. Stop accepting quitter identity. Start building relentless identity. Stop assuming relentlessness is natural trait. Start training relentlessness as developed capacity. Stop hoping pattern changes naturally. Start changing pattern deliberately through action. Recognize current quitting pattern. Commit to building relentlessness. Take action today. Continue despite urge to quit. Continue despite desire to stop. Continue despite rationalization to give up. This continuation is training. This training builds capacity. This capacity creates identity. Identity of person who never quits. Person who always continues. Person who achieves through relentlessness. You're building this person, starting now, through recognition, through commitment, through action, through never quitting again. You recognize pattern now. Next, you must understand how capacity builds. Chapter 2. Relentlessness is trained through not quitting. You want to build relentlessness, but you quit every difficulty. Quit every challenge. Quit every hardship. Quit every uncomfortable situation. Quit every demanding circumstance. This quitting prevents building, prevents development, prevents creation of relentlessness. That is the key. Cannot build relentlessness while quitting. Cannot develop continuation capacity while stopping. Cannot create never quit mentality while giving up. Relentlessness is built through not quitting, through continuing despite wanting to quit, through pushing through despite urge to stop, through persisting despite desire to surrender. Each continuation builds relentlessness. Each push-through strengthens capacity. Each not quitting creates never quit identity. You have been quitting. Therefore, you have been preventing relentlessness building. Therefore, you remain person who quits easily. Person who surrenders quickly. Person who gives up automatically. Must stop quitting to start building. Must stay in difficulty to develop capacity. Must continue despite urge to stop. This is only path to relentlessness. Only method that works. Only approach that builds. Consider the mechanism clearly. Relentlessness is muscle. Mental muscle. Emotional muscle. Psychological muscle. Like physical muscle, mental muscle builds through use. Through stress. Through resistance. Physical muscle builds when you lift weight despite wanting to stop. Mental muscle builds when you continue despite wanting to quit. Physical muscle grows through progressive resistance. Mental muscle grows through progressive difficulty. You lift heavier weight. Physical muscle adapts, gets stronger, gets bigger, gets more capable. You continue through harder difficulty. Mental muscle adapts, gets stronger, gets more resilient, gets more capable. The mechanism is identical. The principle is same. The requirement is equivalent. Use creates strength. Stress creates adaptation. Resistance creates growth. You have not been using mental muscle. Have not been stressing it. Have not been providing resistance. You quit before stress arrives. Stop before resistance builds. Give up before adaptation occurs. This prevents building, prevents strengthening, prevents growth. Mental muscle remains weak, remains small, remains incapable because you never trained it, never stressed it, never build it through not quitting. Special forces operators have extreme relentlessness, extreme continuation capacity, extreme never quit mentality. This capacity is not genetic. This capacity is trained. Trained through Hell Week. Trained through selection. Trained through conditions designed to make people quit. Designed to create maximum urge to surrender. Designed to test who continues despite everything. Most quit. Most surrender. Most give up. Those who continue build relentlessness. Build it through continuing. Build it through not quitting. Build it through staying when everything screams leave. Each hour they continue builds capacity. Each day they persist strengthens muscle. Each moment they do not quit creates relentlessness. By end of Hell Week, relentlessness is built. Built massively. Built permanently. Built through concentrated not quitting under extreme conditions. You do not need Hell Week. You need same principle. Principle of building through not quitting. Through continuing despite urge. Through persisting despite difficulty. Applied to your life. Applied to your challenges. Applied to your circumstances. Daily. Consistently. Permanently. Relentlessness builds through not quitting. Each continuation strengthens capacity. Quit and stay weak forever. You have choice now. Choice that determines whether relentlessness builds or remains absent. First choice, continue quitting when difficulty arrives. This maintains current weakness, maintains current incapacity, maintains current pattern of surrender. This choice is comfortable. This choice is easy. This choice guarantees nothing changes. Nothing builds. Nothing develops. Second choice, stop quitting and start continuing. This begins building, begins strengthening, begins developing relentlessness. This choice is uncomfortable. This choice is difficult. This choice guarantees everything changes. Everything builds. Everything develops. You want relentlessness. You must choose building. Must choose not quitting. Must choose continuation despite every urge to stop. This choice repeated becomes pattern. Pattern repeated becomes capacity. Capacity repeated becomes identity. Identity of relentless person. Person who never quits. Person who always continues. This person is built through choice. Choice of not quitting. Repeated thousands of times. How micro-continuations compound into relentless capacity is essential understanding. Large relentlessness is not built through single large continuation. Large relentlessness is built through thousands of small continuations. Small moments where you want to quit, but do not. Want to stop, but continue. Want to give up, but persist. These micro-continuations compound. Compound mechanically. Compound predictably. Compound guaranteed. First continuation builds small capacity. Tiny capacity. Almost imperceptible capacity. But real capacity. Real building. Real strengthening. Second continuation builds on a first. Adds to existing capacity. Compounds previous building. Now capacity is slightly larger. Third continuation compounds onto second. Fourth on a third. Fifth on a fourth. Each continuation adds. Each persistence compounds. Each not quitting strengthens. By 100th continuation, capacity is noticeable. By 1,000th continuation, capacity is significant. By 10,000th continuation, capacity is relentless. The compounding is mathematical. The compounding is inevitable. The compounding requires only consistency. Consistency of continuing. Consistency of not quitting. Consistency of persisting. Every single time. Without exception. Without excuse. Without omission. James Clear teaches, habits compound. Small improvements compound into remarkable results. 1% improvement daily compounds into 37 times better annually. This applies to relentlessness. Small continuations compound into remarkable capacity. 1 micro-continuation daily compounds into massive relentlessness over time. The compounding is power. Power of consistency. Power of accumulation. Power of time multiplied by repeated action. You have been seeking instant relentlessness, seeking immediate capacity, seeking fast building. This seeking prevents actual building. Relentlessness does not build instantly. Relentlessness builds gradually, builds through accumulation, builds through compounding, through thousands of small continuations, through consistent not quitting, through persistent persisting. You must accept gradual building. Must embrace accumulation process, must trust compounding mechanism, then execute. Execute daily continuations. Execute consistent not quitting. Execute persistent persisting. Let time and compounding create relentlessness. Create capacity. Create never quit mentality. Through thousands of micro continuations that compound into massive capacity. Implementation of daily not quitting practice begins with awareness. Awareness of urges to quit. Awareness of desires to stop. Awareness of wants to give up. These urges happen daily, multiple times daily, constantly throughout day. Morning workout becomes uncomfortable. Urge to quit arrives. Difficult work task requires focus. Urge to stop arrives. Uncomfortable conversation needs continuation. Urge to escape arrives. These urges are training opportunities. Opportunities to build relentlessness. Opportunities to strengthen capacity. Opportunities to create never quit identity. Most people obey urges automatically. Urge arrives. Quitting happens. Automatic. Unconscious. Unquestioned. You must interrupt automation. Must create consciousness. Must question urge. Urge arrives. You notice urge. You observe urge. You recognize urge as training opportunity. This recognition changes everything. Changes response. Changes outcome. Changes building. Relentlessness builds through not quitting. Each continuation strengthens capacity. Quit and stay weak forever. Once urge is recognized, implementation is simple. Simple but not easy. Urge says quit. You continue. Urge says stop. You persist. Urge says give up. You push through. The contradiction between urge and action is training. The resistance between want and do is building. The gap between impulse and behavior is strengthening. You feel urge to quit workout. Urge is strong. Urge is compelling. Urge is screaming. You continue workout. Continue despite urge. Continue contradicting urge. Continue building through not quitting. This one continuation builds small capacity. Tiny capacity, but real capacity. Later, urge to quit work arrives. Urge to stop difficult task. Urge to escape demanding project. You continue work. Continue despite urge. Continue contradicting impulse. Continue building through not quitting. This second continuation compounds on a first, builds more capacity, strengthens more muscle, creates more relentlessness. By end of day, you had 10 urges to quit. You continued through all 10. 10 micro-continuations, 10 capacity buildings, 10 relentlessness strengthening. 1 day of training complete. Pattern must repeat daily. Daily without exception. Every day includes urges to quit. Every day includes opportunities to build. Every day includes training moments. You must capitalize on every opportunity. Must use every moment. Must build every day. Not some days. Not most days. Every day. This daily consistency creates compounding, creates accumulation, creates building that reaches relentless capacity. 1 day of continuations build small amount. 7 days build more. 30 days build noticeably. 365 days build significantly. 3,650 days build relentlessly. 10 years of daily not quitting creates person with extreme relentlessness, extreme capacity, extreme never quit mentality. This person can achieve anything, can persist through anything, can continue despite anything. This person is built through daily practice, daily not quitting, daily continuation despite urge. This person can be you, will be you, through daily practice maintained permanently. That is the key. Daily practice maintained permanently creates relentlessness. Daily practice abandoned returns you to quitter. You cannot build relentlessness for a month, then stop practicing. Cannot develop capacity for a year, then stop continuing. Cannot create never quit mentality, then return to quitting. The moment practice stops, building stops. The moment continuation ends, capacity degrades. The moment not quitting ceases, relentlessness atrophies. Like physical muscle. Use it or lose it. Stress it or weaken it. Train it or diminish it. Mental muscle operates identically. Continue building or start losing. Keep practicing or begin degrading. Maintain training or accept weakening. This is law. This is reality. This is truth you must accept. Relentlessness requires permanent practice, requires daily continuation, requires forever not quitting, not temporary project, not limited campaign, not finite program. Permanent practice, permanent continuation, permanent not quitting. This permanence creates permanent relentlessness, creates permanent capacity, creates permanent never quit identity. You will resist daily practice, will want breaks, will seek rest, will desire vacation from not quitting. This desire is normal, normal and destructive, normal and capacity destroying, normal and relentlessness preventing. You must override desire, must reject breaks, must refuse vacation from building. Every day is training day. Every difficulty is building opportunity. Every urge is strengthening moment. No breaks, no rest, no vacation, just daily continuation, daily not quitting, daily building. This commitment feels harsh, feels demanding, feels unsustainable. This commitment is necessary, is required, is only path to real relentlessness. Temporary practice creates temporary capacity. Permanent practice creates permanent capacity. You want permanent relentlessness. You need permanent practice. Accept this. Commit to this. Execute this. Daily. Forever. Without exception. Relentlessness builds through not quitting. Each continuation strengthens capacity. Quit and stay weak forever. Start today. Right now. This moment. Identify current urge to quit. Current desire to stop. Current want to give up. You are reading this audiobook. Part of you wants to stop reading, wants to quit learning, wants to give up before completion. This urge is first training opportunity, first building moment, first capacity strengthening. Do not quit reading. Continue despite urge. Finish this chapter despite desire to stop. Finish entire audiobook despite wants to give up. This continuation is training. This not quitting is building. This persistence is strengthening. You just practiced, just build capacity, just strengthened relentlessness through continuing despite urge. This is beginning of pattern, beginning of building, beginning of transformation from quitter to relentless. Continue this pattern. Continue every urge. Continue every opportunity. Continue every moment. Build daily. Build consistently. Build permanently. Create relentlessness through accumulated continuations. Through compounded not quitting. Through persistent persisting. After weeks of daily practice, you notice change. Change in capacity. Change in response. Change in identity. Urges to quit still arrive, but response is different. Previously, urge triggered automatic quitting. Now, urge triggers conscious continuation. Previously, desire to stop created stopping. Now, desire to stop creates persisting. Previously, want to give up produced giving up. Now, want to give up produces pushing through. The response changed. Changed through practice. Changed through building. Changed through not quitting thousands of times. This changed response is evidence. Evidence that capacity built. Evidence that relentlessness developed. Evidence that training worked. You're no longer person who quits automatically. You are becoming person who continues automatically. Not there yet, not fully transformed, but moving, building, developing, through daily practice, through consistent continuation, through permanent not quitting. Keep practicing, keep building, keep developing. Complete transformation is ahead. Complete relentlessness awaits. Complete never quit identity forms. Through maintained practice, through continued building, through persistent not quitting. You understand now that relentlessness is built through not quitting. You understand that each continuation strengthens capacity through compounding. You understand that daily practice must be permanent, not temporary. Stop quitting when difficulty arrives. Start continuing despite every urge to quit. Stop seeking instant relentlessness. Start building gradual relentlessness through accumulated continuations. Stop taking breaks from practice. Start practicing daily without exception forever. Every urge to quit is training opportunity. Every difficulty is building moment. Every challenge is strengthening chance. Continue despite urge. Persist despite desire. Push through despite want. This continuation builds capacity. This not quitting strengthens relentlessness. This persistence creates never quit identity. Through thousands of micro continuations, through daily practice, through permanent not quitting, build relentlessness, build capacity, build identity. Starting now, continuing forever, never quitting again. You build through not quitting now. Next, you must understand the urge itself. Chapter 3. The urge to quit is not command to quit. You feel urged to quit. You quit. This obedience is error. Fatal error. Pattern creating error. Capacity destroying error. Urge to quit is feeling. Feeling is not command. Feeling is not requirement. Feeling is not obligation. Feeling is not instruction you must follow. That is the key. You can feel urge to quit and not quit. Can experience desire to stop and continue anyway. Can notice want to give up and persist despite wanting. Feeling and action are separate. Separate completely. Separate totally. Separate absolutely. You have been treating them as same. Treating urge as command. Treating feeling as requirement. Treating desire as obligation. Treating want as instruction. This treatment creates automatic quitting. Creates immediate surrender. Creates reflexive giving up. creates guaranteed failure. Must separate feeling from action. Must recognize urge as urge, not command. Must understand desire as desire, not requirement. Must see want as want, not obligation. This separation is essential. This recognition is critical. This understanding is foundational. This seeing enables continuation despite urge, enables persistence despite desire, enables pushing through despite want. This is relentlessness. Consider how you have been responding to urges. Urge to quit workout arrives. You quit workout immediately. No thought, no consideration, no choice, just automatic obedience. Urge said quit. You quit. Urge to stop difficult work arrives. You stop work immediately. No questioning, no evaluation, no decision, just automatic compliance. Urge said stop. You stop. Urge to give up challenging goal arrives. You give up immediately. No resistance, no contradiction, no opposition, just automatic surrender. Urge said give up. You give up. The pattern is consistent. The pattern is automatic. The pattern is destroying you. Urge equals action. Feeling equals behavior. Desire equals outcome. This equation is wrong. This equation creates weakness. This equation guarantees failure. Must break equation. Must separate urge from action. Must create gap between feeling and behavior. Must establish distance between desire and outcome. This separation is power. This gap is freedom. This distance is relentlessness. You're not slave to urges. You are master who observes urges, then decides actions independently. Special Forces training deliberately creates maximum urges to quit, creates conditions that generate extreme desire to stop, creates situations that produce overwhelming want to give up. Why? To train separation between urge and action, to build capacity to continue despite urge, to develop skill of persisting despite desire. Hell Week is designed to create constant urge to quit, constant desire to stop, constant want to give up. Every moment, every hour, every day, urge is maximum. Urge is overwhelming. Urge is screaming. Those who quit obey urge. Those who continue separate urge from action, separate feeling from behavior, separate desire from outcome. They feel urge. They acknowledge urge. They continue anyway. The urge does not control them, does not command them, does not determine their action. They determine their action, despite urge, despite feeling, despite desire. This is trained capability. This is developed skill. This is built capacity. You need same capability, same skill, same capacity, built through same principle. Feel urge. Acknowledge urge. Continue anyway. This sequence repeated creates separation, creates mastery, creates relentlessness. Urge to quit is feeling, not command. Feel urge. Acknowledge urge. Continue anyway. This is relentlessness. You have choice now. Choice between two responses. Two completely different responses. Two responses that create completely different outcomes. First response. Continue obeying urges automatically. Urge arrives. Action follows immediately. No gap. No separation. No choice. This response maintains weakness. Maintains automatic quitting. Maintains guaranteed failure. This response is current default. Current pattern. Current programming. This response creates nothing. Builds nothing. Achieves nothing. Second response. Observe urges without obeying. Urge arrives. Observation happens. Gap created. Choice made. Action chosen independently. This response creates strength. Creates conscious continuation. Creates achieved goals. This response requires training. Requires practice. Requires building. This response creates everything. Builds everything. Achieves everything. You want achievement. You need second response. Must train observation. Must practice separation. Must build gap between urge and action. Implementation begins with recognition of urge arising. Most people are unconscious when urge arrives. Urge happens. Action happens. No awareness between. No consciousness of urge. No recognition of feeling. No observation of desire. Action is automatic. Unconscious. Unexamined. You must become conscious. Must recognize urge as it arises. Must catch feeling in moment it appears. Must observe desire when it first emerges. This recognition is first step. Critical first step. Essential first step. Without recognition, no gap possible. Without consciousness, no choice exists. Without observation, automatic obedience continues. Practice recognition. Throughout day. Every day. Forever. Notice when urge to quit arises. Notice when desire to stop emerges. Notice when want to give up appears. This noticing creates consciousness, creates awareness, creates possibility of different response, different from automatic obedience, different from reflexive surrender, different from unconscious quitting. The noticing is power. The awareness is freedom. The consciousness is choice. Once urge is recognized, second step is acknowledgement. Acknowledgement without engagement. Acknowledgement without analysis. Acknowledgement without exploration. Simple acknowledgement. You notice urge to quit. You acknowledge, I feel urge to quit. That is all. No analysis of why. No exploration of where urge comes from. No engagement with urge's reasons. Just simple acknowledgement. I feel this urge. Acknowledgement is important. Important because it prevents denial. Prevents pretending urge does not exist. Prevents suppressing feeling. Urge exists. Acknowledge this existence. But acknowledgement is not obedience, not agreement, not compliance. Just recognition of reality. Reality that urge is present. Present but not commanding. Present but not controlling. Present but not determining action. You feel urge. You acknowledge urge. Then you choose action independently of urge. This independence is critical. This separation is essential. This choice is relentlessness. Urge to quit is feeling, not command. Feel urge. Acknowledge urge. Continue anyway. This is relentlessness. Third step is continuation despite urge. You felt urge. You acknowledged urge. Now you continue. Continue your workout despite urge to quit. Continue your work despite urge to stop. Continue your goal despite urge to give up. The continuation happens despite urge. Not because urge disappeared. Not because urge weakened. Not because urge stopped. Urge is still present. Urge is still strong. Urge is still screaming. But you continue anyway. Continue despite urge. Continue contradicting urge. Continue proving urge is not command. This continuation is training. This contradiction is building. This proving is strengthening. Each time you continue despite urge, you build capacity. Build separation muscle. Build relentlessness. First continuation is difficult. Very difficult. Extremely difficult. Urge is strong. Separation is weak. Continuation requires maximum effort. Second continuation is slightly easier. Third continuation is easier still. By 100th continuation, separation is built. By 1000th continuation, separation is strong. By 10,000th continuation, separation is automatic. Urge arises. Acknowledgement happens. Continuation follows. Automatically. Without effort. Without struggle. This is mastery. This is goal. This is relentlessness. Practice this three-step sequence deliberately. Deliberately at first. Consciously at first. Effortfully at first. Later becomes automatic. Later becomes unconscious. Later becomes effortless. But beginning requires deliberate practice. Requires conscious implementation. Requires effortful execution. Next, urge to quit. Implement sequence. First, recognize urge. Notice urge arising. Say internally, urge to quit is present. Second, acknowledge urge. Accept urge exists. Say internally, I feel this urge. Third, Continue anyway. Take action despite urge. Say internally, I continue regardless. This three-step sequence creates separation, creates gap between feeling and action, creates choice between urge and behavior. The sequence is simple. The sequence is powerful. The sequence is transformative. Simple but not easy. Powerful but requires practice. Transformative but demands consistency. Practice sequence every urge, every desire, every want. Build separation. Build gap. Build choice. Build relentlessness. Through thousands of repetitions of three-step sequence. That is the key. Sequence must become automatic. Must activate without thinking. Must execute without deciding. This automation requires extensive practice, extensive repetition, extensive training. You cannot think through sequence during crisis. Cannot remember steps during maximum urge. Cannot execute deliberately during overwhelming desire. Sequence must be automatic, must be reflexive, must be immediate. This automation requires thousands of repetitions, thousands of practices, thousands of implementations. First week, sequence is conscious, requires thinking, requires remembering, requires effort. After month, sequence becomes familiar, requires less thinking, requires less effort, still conscious but easier. After 6 months, sequence becomes semi-automatic, activates with minimal thought, executes with minimal effort. After year, sequence is fully automatic. Urge arises. Sequence activates instantly. Continuation happens immediately. No thought required. No effort needed. No decision made. Just automatic separation and continuation. This automation is goal. This automaticity is mastery. This reflexiveness is relentlessness. You will fail at separation initially. Will obey urges sometimes. Will quit despite knowing better. Will surrender despite understanding sequence. This failure is normal. This failure is expected. This failure is part of training. Each failure is feedback. Feedback showing where separation broke down. Showing where recognition was missed. Showing where acknowledgement was skipped. Showing where continuation was abandoned. Learn from failure. Next urge, recognize earlier. Acknowledge more clearly. Continue more deliberately. Each failure plus adjustment builds capacity, builds skill, builds mastery. Failure is not permanent. Failure is training. Keep practicing. Keep implementing. Keep building. Capacity grows through cycles of attempt, failure, adjustment, improvement. Cycles repeated create mastery, create automatic separation, create relentlessness that continues regardless of urge intensity, regardless of desire strength, regardless of want overwhelming. The relentlessness continues, always, without exception, through trained separation between urge and action. Urge to quit is feeling, not command. Feel urge. Acknowledge urge. Continue anyway. This is relentlessness. Advanced practice, separate from extreme urges. Not moderate urges. Extreme urges. Overwhelming urges. Maximum urges. Urges so strong they feel unbearable. Feel like they must be obeyed. Feel like they cannot be resisted. These extreme urges are advanced training. Training that builds extreme capacity, builds extreme separation, builds extreme relentlessness. Most people never practice with extreme urges. Practice only with moderate urges. Build only moderate capacity. You must practice with extreme urges. Must face overwhelming desires. Must continue despite maximum wants. This extreme practice builds extreme capacity, builds ability to continue despite any urge, any desire, any want, no matter how strong, no matter how overwhelming, no matter how maximum. You continue, always, without exception, because urge is not command, is never command, is only feeling, feeling you observe, acknowledge, then ignore through continuation. This is mastery. This is advanced relentlessness. This is goal. Viktor Frankl discovered this truth in Auschwitz. Discovered through extreme suffering. Discovered through maximum urge to give up. He taught, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. Urge to quit is stimulus. Continuing is response. Between urge and continuation is space. Space where choice exists. Choice to obey urge or continue despite urge. Untrained people have no space. Urge arrives. Action follows immediately. Trained people have space. Urge arrives. Space exists. Choice happens. Action is chosen. This space is freedom. This space is power. This space is relentlessness. You must create this space. Must build this gap. Must develop this separation. Through practice. Through recognition. Through acknowledgement. Through continuation despite urge. This creates space. This builds freedom. This develops relentlessness. Space where you are not slave to feelings. Space where you are master of actions. Space where urges inform but never command. This space is everything. This space is goal. This space is relentlessness. You understand now that urge to quit is feeling, not command. You understand that separation between urge and action creates relentlessness. You understand that three-step sequence builds this separation. Stop obeying urges automatically. Start observing urges consciously. Stop treating feelings as commands. Start treating feelings as information to acknowledge, then override. Stop letting desires determine actions. Start choosing actions independently of desires. Recognize urge arising. Acknowledge urge existing. Continue anyway. This sequence builds separation. This separation builds relentlessness. This relentlessness builds achievement. Through practiced non-obedience to urge. Through developed separation between feeling and action. Through build capacity to continue regardless. Practice sequence. Every urge, every time, every day. Build separation. Build relentlessness. Build never quit capacity. Through recognition. Through acknowledgement. Through continuation despite every urge to quit. You separate urge from action now. Next, you must understand what urge costs. Chapter 4. Pain is temporary. Quitting is permanent. Difficulty creates pain. Pain is uncomfortable. Pain is unpleasant. Pain is something you want to escape. You quit to escape pain. This escape feels good immediately. Feels like relief. Feels like wisdom. Feels like self-care. Feels like reasonable decision. But quitting creates regret. Regret that lasts. Lasts longer than pain would have lasted. Lasts years. Lasts decades. Lasts lifetime. Lasts permanently. That is the key. Pain is temporary. Pain ends. Pain passes. Pain is finite. Quitting is permanent. Quitting stays. Quitting compounds. Quitting is infinite. You chose temporary relief over permanent achievement. Chose momentary comfort over lasting success. Chose immediate escape over eventual victory. Chose finite pain avoidance over infinite regret creation. This choice guarantees regret. Guarantees looking back with pain. Pain worse than difficulty pain. Pain of knowing you quit. Pain of knowing you gave up when you could have continued. Pain of knowing you surrendered when success was possible. This pain is permanent. This pain never ends. This pain is worse than temporary difficulty pain. You are trading badly. Trading temporary for permanent. Trading escapable for inescapable. Trading difficulty for regret. Consider the mechanism of this bad trade. You are pursuing difficult goal. Goal requires sustained effort. Sustained discomfort. Sustained pushing through pain. Week 1, pain is manageable. Week 2, pain increases. Week 3, pain is significant. Week 4, pain feels unbearable. You quit. Immediate relief. Pain stops. Discomfort ends. Struggle ceases. This feels good. This feels right. This feels like wisdom. Fast forward 1 month. Relief is gone. Regret arrives. You think about goal you abandoned. You think about person you could have become. You think about achievement you could have had. Regret hurts. Hurts worse than difficulty pain. Difficulty pain was physical, temporary, escapable through completion. Regret pain is psychological, permanent, inescapable through any means. Fast forward 1 year. Regret is stronger. You see others who continued, others who pushed through same pain, others who achieved what you quit. Your regret intensifies. Fast forward 10 years. Regret is permanent fixture, permanent reminder, permanent pain, pain that never ends. Pain worse than 4 weeks of difficulty would have been. You chose 4 weeks escape. You got lifetime regret. Bad trade, terrible trade, devastating trade. David Goggins teaches, you're giving up at 40%. When your mind says you are done, you're only 40% done. 60% remains. 60% of capacity unused. 60% of potential unrealized. Why do you quit at 40%? Because pain feels maximum, feels unbearable, feels like 100%. But feeling is deceptive. Feeling is lying. Feeling is wrong. You are at 40%. Pain feels like 100%. This deception causes quitting, causes abandoning 60% of capacity, causes surrendering 60% of achievement. If you continue past 40%, continue through deceptive pain, continue accessing remaining 60%, you discover truth. Discover pain was temporary. Discover capacity was larger. Discover achievement was possible. But you must continue, must push through deceptive pain, must access hidden capacity, cannot discover truth through quitting, cannot access capacity through surrender, cannot achieve goals through giving up at 40%, must continue past 40, past 50, past 60, to 100, to completion, to achievement. This continuation reveals truth, reveals temporary nature of pain, reveals permanent nature of achievement. Pain is temporary. Quitting is permanent. Choose temporary discomfort over permanent regret. Continue always. You have choice now. Choice presented every time difficulty arrives. Every time pain emerges. Every time discomfort increases. First choice, quit to escape temporary pain. This escape creates immediate relief, creates momentary comfort, creates short-term pleasure, also creates permanent regret, creates lifetime pain, creates infinite suffering. This choice trades temporary for permanent, trades finite for infinite, trades escapable for inescapable. Bad trade. Second choice, continue through temporary pain. This continuation creates immediate discomfort, creates momentary suffering, creates short-term pain, also creates permanent achievement, creates lifetime satisfaction, creates infinite pride. This choice trades temporary for permanent differently, trades temporary pain for permanent gain, trades finite suffering for infinite achievement, trades escapable discomfort for inescapable success. Good trade. Best trade. Only trade that makes sense. You must choose second option. Must choose continuation. Must choose temporary pain over permanent regret. Every single time. Without exception. Without wavering. Without doubt. Implementation requires reframe. Reframe of pain. Reframe of discomfort. Reframe of suffering. Current frame. Pain is bad. Pain is problem. Pain is thing to escape. Pain is enemy. This frame creates quitting, creates surrender, creates giving up. New frame. Pain is temporary. Pain is passing. Pain is finite. Pain is acceptable cost for permanent achievement. This frame creates continuation, creates persistence, creates pushing through. Same pain, different frame, different response, different outcome. You must adopt new frame, must internalize new understanding, must make new frame automatic. Every time pain arrives, implement reframe. Say internally, this pain is temporary. Say out loud if helpful. This pain is temporary. Quitting is permanent. I choose temporary pain over permanent regret. This reframe changes calculation, changes decision, changes action. Pain no longer triggers automatic quitting. Pain triggers reframe instead. Reframe triggers continuation. Continuation leads to achievement. This is power of reframe. This is necessity of reframe. This is implementation of new understanding. Practice reframe immediately. Right now, identify current pain, current discomfort, current difficulty you want to escape. Physical pain from exercise, mental pain from challenging work, emotional pain from difficult relationship. Any pain, any discomfort, any difficulty. Notice urge to quit, urge to stop, urge to escape. Now implement reframe. Say out loud, this pain is temporary. This pain will pass. This pain will end. Quitting is permanent. Quitting will last. Quitting will compound. I choose temporary pain. I reject permanent regret. I continue through this temporary discomfort. Now continue. Continue your exercise. Continue your work. Continue your relationship effort. Continue despite pain. Continue because of reframe. Continue proving pain is temporary through experiencing pain passing. Each continuation through pain proves reframe true. Proves pain is temporary. Proves continuation is possible. Proves achievement is reachable. This proof builds confidence, builds capacity, builds relentlessness. Through continued experience of pain being temporary. Through repeated proof that continuation works. Through accumulated evidence that reframe is accurate. Pain is temporary. Quitting is permanent. Choose temporary discomfort over permanent regret. Continue always. Advanced understanding. Pain has purpose. Pain is not random. Pain is not meaningless. Pain is not pointless. Pain is signal. Signal that growth is happening. Signal that adaptation is occurring. Signal that capacity is building. Physical pain during exercise signals muscle breakdown. Breakdown necessary for muscle growth. Breakdown that creates strength. Mental pain during challenge signals cognitive expansion. Expansion necessary for capability growth. Expansion that creates intelligence. Emotional pain during difficulty signals resilience building. Building necessary for toughness growth. Building that creates character. All pain has purpose. Purpose of growth. Purpose of development. Purpose of building. When you quit to escape pain, you quit growth. Quit development. Quit building. When you continue through pain, you continue growth. Continue development. Continue building. The pain is not enemy. The pain is ally. Ally forcing growth. Ally creating development. Ally building capacity. Reframe pain as ally, as necessary component of achievement, as required element of success. This reframe makes continuation possible, makes persistence natural, makes pushing through logical. You will encounter people who say quitting is wisdom, say knowing when to quit is intelligence, say strategic retreat is smart. These people are wrong. These people are justifying weakness. These people are rationalizing surrender. These people are disguising quitting as wisdom. Ignore these people. Reject these messages. Oppose these rationalizations. There is difference between quitting and pivoting. Quitting is stopping because difficulty arrived. Pivoting is changing approach while maintaining goal. Quitting is surrendering because pain emerged. Pivoting is adjusting method while maintaining commitment. Quitting is giving up because urge overwhelmed. Pivoting is modifying strategy while maintaining pursuit. You're not learning to never pivot. You're learning to never quit, never surrender, never give up. Maintain goal, maintain commitment, maintain pursuit, adjust methods, modify strategies, change approaches, but never quit, never abandon goal, never surrender commitment, never give up pursuit. This is wisdom. This is intelligence. This is strategic, not quitting disguised as wisdom. Not surrender disguised as strategy. Not giving up disguised as intelligence. Real continuation. Real persistence. Real relentlessness. That is the key. Relentlessness is not stupidity. Not blindness. Not rigidity. Relentlessness is commitment to goal while remaining flexible about methods. Commitment to achievement while remaining adaptable about approaches. Commitment to success while remaining creative about strategies. You maintain goal relentlessly. You adjust methods intelligently. Goal never changes. Methods change constantly. Commitment never wavers. Strategies evolve continuously. Pursuit never stops. Approaches adapt repeatedly. This is intelligent relentlessness. This is strategic continuation. This is wise persistence. Not blind pushing in wrong direction. Not stupid repeating a failed method. Not rigid adherence to broken strategy. Smart maintenance of goal. Smart adaptation of method. Smart evolution of strategy. While never quitting, never surrendering, never giving up. This combination of relentless goal commitment plus intelligent method adaptation creates achievement, creates success, creates victory. Without either element, failure results. Relentless but rigid fails. Adaptive but quitting fails. Both required. Relentless goal commitment. Intelligent method adaptation. Together, create achievement. Create success. Create everything you pursue. Pain is temporary. Quitting is permanent. Choose temporary discomfort over permanent regret. Continue always. Real-world application. You have goal-causing pain. Business goal. Fitness goal. Relationship goal. Career goal. Any goal. Goal is right. Goal is worthy. Goal is important. But path is painful. Method is uncomfortable. Process is difficult. You want to quit goal. Want to abandon pursuit. Want to surrender commitment. Do not quit goal. Change method. Maintain goal. Modify approach. Keep commitment. Adjust strategy. The goal remains. The method changes. Goal. Build successful business. Method 1 failed. Pain arrived. Do not quit goal. Change method. Method 2. Method 2 fails. Pain continues. Do not quit goal. Change method. Method 3. Continue changing methods until one succeeds. Until pain leads to breakthrough. Until persistence creates achievement. But goal never changes. Commitment never wavers. Pursuit never stops. This is relentlessness applied intelligently. This is continuation executed strategically. This is persistence implemented wisely. Maintain goal through pain. Change methods through adaptation. Achieve goal through relentless, intelligent persistence. After years of continuing through pain, transformation occurs. Pain becomes familiar, becomes expected, becomes normal. You no longer fear pain, no longer avoid pain, no longer quit because of pain. Pain becomes signal, signal that you're growing, signal that you're building, signal that you're achieving. You welcome pain, seek pain, embrace pain, not because you enjoy suffering, because you understand pain's purpose. Understand pain's temporariness. Understand pain's necessity. This transformation is profound. This transformation is powerful. This transformation is difference between those who achieve and those who do not. Those who quit. Those who achieve continue. Those who continue understand pain is temporary. Understand quitting is permanent. Understand choice is clear. Choose temporary pain. Achieve permanent success. This choice repeated becomes identity. Identity of person who never quits. Person who always continues. Person who achieves through relentless persistence despite temporary pain. This person is built through years of choosing correctly. Choosing continuation over quitting. Choosing temporary pain over permanent regret. Choosing achievement over comfort. This person can be you, will be you, through correct choice repeated forever. You understand now that pain is temporary and quitting is permanent. You understand that trading temporary pain for permanent regret is terrible trade. You understand that reframing pain as temporary enables continuation. Stop quitting to escape temporary pain. Start continuing through temporary pain to achieve permanent success. Stop viewing pain as enemy to escape. Start viewing pain as ally forcing growth. Stop choosing immediate relief that creates permanent regret. Start choosing temporary discomfort that creates permanent achievement. Reframe pain as temporary. Reframe continuation as intelligent. Reframe persistence as achieving. Say out loud, "This pain is temporary. Quitting is permanent. I choose temporary over permanent." Then continue. Continue your workout. Continue your business. Continue your goal. Continue through pain. Continue past discomfort. Continue despite difficulty. This continuation through temporary pain creates permanent achievement, creates lasting success, creates infinite satisfaction through correct choice, through intelligent decision, through relentless continuation despite pain. Choose wisely. Choose continuation. Choose achievement. Through accepting temporary pain. Through rejecting permanent regret. Through continuing always. You choose continuation now. Next, you must recognize deception. Chapter 5. Your reasons to quit are rationalizations, not reality. You want to quit. Mind generates reasons. Reasons why quitting is wise. Why stopping is justified. Why giving up is reasonable. These reasons sound logical. Sound intelligent. Sound like wisdom. Sound like good decision-making. These reasons are rationalizations. Rationalizations for weakness. Rationalizations for surrender. Rationalizations for giving up. Rationalizations for failure. That is the key. Mind is expert at justifying what you want. You want to quit. Mind provides reasons to quit. You want to stop. Mind provides reasons to stop. You want to give up. Mind provides reasons to give up. The reasons are not reality. The reasons are not truth. The reasons are not wisdom. The reasons are rationalization. Rationalization of weakness. Rationalization of failure. Rationalization of surrender disguised as intelligent decision-making. You have been believing rationalizations. Believing they are reality. Believing they are wisdom. Believing they are truth. They are not. They are weakness disguised as wisdom. They are surrender disguised as strategy. They are failure disguised as decision-making. They are lies your mind tells to justify what your weakness wants. Consider how rationalizations work. You're pursuing difficult goal. Goal requires sustained effort, sustained discomfort, sustained persistence. You have been working for weeks. Weeks of effort, weeks of discomfort, weeks of no visible progress. You want to quit. Want desperately to quit. Want to escape difficulty. Want to stop discomfort. Want to abandon effort. But quitting feels bad. Feels like weakness. Feels like failure. Feels like giving up. Your mind cannot accept feeling like failure. Cannot accept being weak. Cannot accept giving up. So mind generates rationalization. Generates reason that makes quitting feel acceptable. Makes stopping feel wise. Makes giving up feel justified. Rationalization arrives. This goal is not really that important. Suddenly quitting feels fine. Feels reasonable. Feels like good decision. This goal is not aligned with my values. Now quitting feels strategic. Feels like wisdom. Feels like self-awareness. This timing is not right for this goal. Now quitting feels like intelligent postponement. Feels like strategic patience. Feels like mature decision-making. The rationalization transformed weakness into wisdom. Transformed surrender into strategy. Transformed failure into intelligent choice. This transformation is lie, is deception, is self-sabotage. The rationalization enabled quitting, enabled weakness, enabled failure. Reasons to quit are rationalizations for weakness. Reject rationalizations. Continue anyway. This is relentlessness. The pattern is universal. The pattern is predictable. The pattern is destroying you. Difficulty arrives. You want to quit. Mind generates rationalization. Rationalization makes quitting acceptable. You quit. Pattern complete. You have executed this pattern hundreds of times. Executed in jobs. This job is not right for me. Executed in relationships. This person is not my soulmate. Executed in businesses. This market is not ready. Executed in fitness. This approach is not optimal for my body type. Executed in learning. This subject is not relevant to my goals. Every quit had rationalization. Every surrender had justification. Every giving up had reason. These rationalizations made quitting feel acceptable, made surrender feel justified, made giving up feel wise. But here is truth. Here is reality. Here is what you must understand completely. The rationalizations came after wanting to quit, not before. Came because you wanted to quit, not because quitting was actually wise. The wanting created the reasoning. The weakness created the justification. The desire to escape created the rationalization. The sequence is always same, always predictable, always backwards. Want to quit first. Generate reason second. Believe reason third. Quit fourth. Pattern complete. How mind creates justifications for weakness is critical understanding. Mind is not neutral observer. Mind is not objective analyst. Mind is not impartial advisor. Mind is motivated reasoner. Motivated by desires. Motivated by wants. Motivated by urges. Motivated by weaknesses. You want to quit. Mind is motivated to justify quitting. Mind searches for reasons. Searches for evidence. Searches for logic. That supports what you want. Mind is not searching for truth. Mind is searching for justification, not seeking reality. Seeking rationalization, not finding wisdom, finding excuse. This motivated reasoning is powerful. This motivated reasoning is convincing. This motivated reasoning is deceptive. Mind finds reasons that sound good, sound logical, sound intelligent. These reasons are selected because they justify what you want, not because they reflect reality, not because they represent truth, not because they constitute wisdom, because they make weakness acceptable, make surrender palatable, make failure justifiable. You hear these reasons, these logical-sounding reasons, these intelligent-seeming reasons. You believe them. You act on them. You quit, based on rationalization, based on motivated reasoning, based on lie your mind told to justify your weakness. Implementation requires recognition of rationalizations. Recognition when they appear. Recognition of their nature. Recognition of their purpose. Next time you want to quit, watch for rationalization. Watch mind generate reasons. Reasons will sound good. Reasons will sound logical. Reasons will sound like wisdom. These are rationalizations, not reality, not truth, not wisdom. Rationalizations designed to make quitting acceptable, designed by motivated reasoning, designed by mind-serving weakness. Recognition is critical. Critical because recognition creates possibility. Possibility of rejecting rationalization. Possibility of seeing through deception. Possibility of continuing despite justification. Without recognition, rationalization controls you. Controls decision. Controls action. Controls outcome. With recognition, you control rationalization. See it for what it is. Reject it for what it does. Continue despite what it says. This control is power. This recognition is freedom. This rejection is relentlessness. Reasons to quit are rationalizations for weakness. Reject rationalizations. Continue anyway. This is relentlessness. Specific rationalizations to watch for. Learn these patterns. Recognize these when they appear. Reject these when they emerge. First rationalization. This goal is not really important. This appears when difficulty increases, when discomfort intensifies, when effort seems overwhelming. Mind declares goal unimportant to justify quitting. Reality. Goal was important when you started. Importance has not changed. Difficulty changed. Your desire to escape changed. Goal importance did not change. Reject rationalization. Continue anyway. Second rationalization. This timing is not right. This appears when progress stalls, when results delay, when success seems distant. Mind declares timing wrong to justify postponing. Reality, timing is never perfect. Timing is never ideal. Timing is excuse. Reject rationalization. Continue anyway. Third rationalization. This approach is not optimal. This appears when method is difficult, when process is uncomfortable, when strategy requires persistence. Mind declares approach suboptimal to justify changing or quitting. Reality, no approach is optimal. All approaches require persistence. Optimization is excuse for quitting. Reject rationalization. Continue anyway. Fourth rationalization. I need to take care of myself. This appears when effort is demanding, when sacrifice is required, when discipline is necessary. Mind declares self-care to justify escape. Reality, self-care is not escape. Self-care is not quitting. Self-care is not surrender. Real self-care is building capacity, building character, building achievement, through persistence, through discipline, through continuation. Quitting is not self-care. Quitting is self-sabotage. Reject rationalization. Continue anyway. Fifth rationalization. I am being realistic. This appears when goal is challenging, when achievement seems difficult, when success requires extreme effort. Mind declares realism to justify lowering standards. Reality, realism is not surrender. Realism is not quitting. Realism is not giving up. Real realism is acknowledging difficulty, then persisting anyway. Acknowledging challenge, then working harder. Acknowledging obstacles, then overcoming them. Quitting is not realism. Quitting is defeat disguised as wisdom. Reject rationalization. Continue anyway. These 5 rationalizations are most common, most convincing, most dangerous. Learn them. Recognize them. Reject them. Every single time. Without exception. Without hesitation. Without belief. That is the key. Never believe rationalizations. Never accept justifications. Never adopt excuses. No matter how logical they sound. No matter how intelligent they seem. No matter how wise they appear. They are lies. They are deceptions. They are motivated reasoning serving weakness. When rationalization appears, label it immediately. Say internally, this is rationalization, not reality. This is excuse, not reason. This is weakness disguised as wisdom. Then continue. Continue despite rationalization. Continue rejecting justification. Continue opposing excuse. This rejection builds capacity, builds immunity to self-deception, builds relentlessness that continues regardless of mental justifications. After thousands of rejections, immunity develops strongly, develops permanently. Rationalizations still appear, but they have no power, no influence, no control. You see them clearly. Reject them immediately. Continue automatically. This immunity is goal. This clarity is mastery. This rejection is relentlessness. Reasons to quit are rationalizations for weakness. Reject rationalizations. Continue anyway. This is relentlessness. You will notice pattern in others. Notice people generating rationalizations constantly, generating for why they quit jobs. The company culture was toxic, generating for why they quit relationships. We wanted different things, generating for why they quit goals. My priorities changed. All rationalizations, all justifications, all motivated reasoning. You hear these rationalizations from others. Do not adopt them. Do not accept them as valid. Do not use them as models. These people are demonstrating weakness, demonstrating surrender, demonstrating failure, disguised as wisdom, disguised as self-awareness, disguised as good decision-making. Do not follow their pattern. Do not imitate their behavior. Do not replicate their rationalizations. Instead, be different. Be person who continues. Be person who persists. Be person who never quits, regardless of rationalizations, regardless of justifications, regardless of excuses. Your relentlessness will make others uncomfortable, will make their rationalizations obvious, will make their weakness visible. They may criticize your persistence. Call it stubbornness. Call it inflexibility. Call it inability to let go. Ignore their criticism. Their criticism is rationalization for their weakness, is justification for their quitting, is excuse for their failure. You are not stubborn. You are relentless, not inflexible, persistent, not unable to let go, committed to achievement. This distinction is everything. Advanced practice, preemptive rationalization rejection. Do not wait for rationalization to appear. Reject it before it forms. Before starting difficult goal, declare, I will not accept any rationalization for quitting. I will not believe any justification for stopping. I will not adopt any excuse for giving up. I will continue regardless of what my mind says, regardless of what reasons appear, regardless of what justifications emerge. I commit to continuation. I commit to persistence. I commit to relentlessness. No rationalization will be accepted. No justification will be believed. No excuse will be adopted. I continue until achievement. I persist until success. I never quit regardless of mental reasons. This preemptive declaration creates commitment, creates immunity, creates relentlessness. Declaration before difficulty prevents rationalization during difficulty, prevents justification from forming, prevents excuse from taking hold. You declared in advance. Declared you will not accept rationalizations. Now, when rationalizations appear, declaration blocks them, blocks their power, blocks their influence, blocks their control. You committed to continuation. Commitment overrides rationalization, overrides justification, overrides excuse. This preemptive practice is powerful, is protective, is relentlessness insurance. Use it. Declare before every difficult pursuit. Block rationalizations before they form. Continue through commitment despite mental justifications. You understand now that reasons to quit are rationalizations, not reality. You understand that mind generates justifications to make weakness acceptable. You understand that recognition and rejection of rationalizations enables continuation. Stop believing reasons to quit. Start recognizing rationalizations for what they are. Stop accepting justifications as valid. Start rejecting justifications as weakness. Stop adopting excuses as wisdom. Start opposing excuses as self-sabotage. Watch for rationalizations. Recognize when they appear. Label them immediately. This is rationalization, not reality. Then reject. Then continue. Despite reason. Despite justification. Despite excuse. This rejection builds immunity. This continuation builds relentlessness. This opposition builds achievement. Through seeing through self-deception. Through rejecting motivated reasoning. Through continuing regardless of mental justifications. Never believe rationalizations. Always reject justifications. Continue forever despite excuses. This is relentlessness. This is truth. This is path to achievement despite weakness wanting to quit. You reject rationalizations now. Next, you must understand commitment's power. Chapter 6. Commitment eliminates options. This creates freedom. You maintain options. Option to quit. Option to stop. Option to give up. Option to change course. Option to pivot away. Option to abandon pursuit. These options feel safe. Feel like freedom. Feel like wisdom. Feel like keeping possibilities open. Feel like not limiting yourself. These options are weakness, are limitation, are failure insurance, are guaranteed eventual quitting. That is the key. When you maintain option to quit, you will quit. When you keep option to stop, you will stop. When you preserve option to give up, you'll give up. The option becomes action. Eventually, inevitably, guaranteed. You have been keeping options open. keeping escape routes available, keeping exit strategies ready, keeping backup plans prepared. This option maintenance guarantees eventual quitting, guarantees eventual failure, guarantees eventual surrender. You think options create freedom. Options create weakness. Real freedom comes from commitment. Commitment that eliminates options, eliminates escape, eliminates quitting possibility. This elimination creates necessity. Necessity to continue. Necessity to persist. Necessity to succeed. No other option exists. Must continue. Must persist. Must succeed. This is freedom. Freedom through elimination of options. Consider how maintaining options destroys commitment. You start business, but you keep job as backup. Option to return to employment exists. Business becomes difficult, requires total commitment, requires complete focus, requires absolute dedication. But option exists. Option to return to job. Option to escape difficulty. Option to quit business. This option weakens commitment, weakens effort, weakens persistence. When business requires maximum push, option prevents maximum push, prevents total commitment, prevents complete dedication. You hold back effort, hold back time, hold back resources. Because option exists, because escape is possible, because quitting is available. The maintained option guarantees partial effort, guarantees divided focus, guarantees eventual failure. You start fitness goal, but you keep excuses ready. Option to quit exists. If my body does not respond well, if progress is too slow, if life gets too busy, these options are escape routes. Escape routes you prepared. Escape routes you maintain. Escape routes you will use. When fitness requires maximum effort, options prevent maximum effort. You hold back because escape exists, because quit is possible. The maintained options guarantee eventual quitting, guarantee eventual failure, guarantee eventual surrender. Special forces candidates who succeed eliminate all options. Eliminate option to quit. Eliminate escape routes. Eliminate backup plans. They commit totally. Commit to completion or die trying. Commit to continuing regardless. Commit to never quitting no matter what. This total commitment changes everything. Changes psychology. Changes effort. Changes outcome. Candidate with maintained option thinks, if this becomes too hard, I can quit. Candidate without option thinks, this will be hard. I will continue anyway. No other option exists. First candidate quits. Second candidate succeeds. Not because second candidate is stronger. Because second candidate eliminated option, eliminated escape, eliminated quit possibility. This elimination created necessity. Necessity to continue. Necessity to persist. Necessity to succeed. Necessity that overrides pain, overrides difficulty, overrides urge to quit. First candidate maintained option. Option that became action, became quitting, became failure. The difference is commitment. Total commitment. Complete commitment. Absolute commitment. Commitment that eliminates all options except success. This commitment creates success, creates achievement, creates relentless continuation until completion. Options enable quitting. Commitment eliminates options. No option to quit creates necessity to continue. Burn ships. You have choice now. Choice between two approaches. Two completely opposite approaches. Two approaches that create completely opposite outcomes. First approach, maintain options. Keep escape routes. Preserve backup plans. Maintain quit possibility. This approach feels safe, feels smart, feels like wisdom. Also guarantees partial commitment. Guarantees divided effort. Guarantees eventual quitting. This approach prevents success, prevents achievement, prevents completion. Because options undermine commitment, undermine effort, undermine persistence. Second approach, eliminate options. Burn escape routes. Destroy backup plans. Eliminate quit possibility. This approach feels dangerous, feels reckless, feels like foolishness, also guarantees total commitment, guarantees complete effort, guarantees relentless persistence. This approach creates success, creates achievement, creates completion, because elimination creates necessity, creates total commitment, creates relentless effort. You want success. You need second approach. Must eliminate options. Must burn ships. Must commit totally. Without escape. Without backup. Without quit possibility. Hernán Cortés burned his ships. Landed in Mexico with small force. Faced massive empire. Faced overwhelming odds. Faced probable death. His men wanted option. Option to retreat. Option to escape. Option to quit mission. Cortés burned ships. Eliminated retreat option. Eliminated escape possibility. Eliminated quit choice. His men faced new reality. New binary choice. Conquer or die. Succeed or perish. Win or end. No retreat. No escape. No quit. This elimination created necessity. Necessity to fight harder. Necessity to persist longer. Necessity to overcome everything. Because no alternative existed. They conquered empire. Small force defeated massive empire. Not because they were stronger. Because commitment was total. Because options were eliminated. Because necessity was created. This is power of burning ships. Power of eliminating options. Power of total commitment. You need same power. Same commitment. Same elimination. Burn your ships. Eliminate your options. Create your necessity. Through total commitment to goal with zero escape routes maintained. Implementation requires identification, then elimination. First, identify all maintained options. All escape routes. All backup plans. All quit possibilities. What options are you keeping? What escapes are you preserving? What backups are you maintaining? Write them down. List completely. Be honest. Be thorough. Be brutal. Every option. Every escape. Every backup. See them clearly. See how many exits you maintain. See how many quits you preserve. This seeing is critical. Cannot eliminate what you do not see. Cannot burn ships you do not identify. Cannot commit totally while maintaining hidden options. See all options. See all escapes. See all backups. Then eliminate. Eliminate deliberately. Eliminate completely. Eliminate permanently. How? Through action and announcement. Action eliminates physical options. Announcement eliminates psychological options. Both required. Both essential. Both create total commitment. Options enable quitting. Commitment eliminates options. No option to quit creates necessity to continue. Burn ships. Action elimination example. Pursuing business goal. Current job is option. Option to return if business fails. Option to escape if difficulty increases. Option to quit business and resume employment. Eliminate this option. How? Quit job. Quit completely. Quit permanently. Burn that ship. Now no job option exists. No employment escape available. No quit business return to job possibility maintained. Business becomes necessity. Must succeed. Must work. Must continue. Because no alternative exists. This action creates commitment. Creates necessity. Creates relentlessness. Another example. Pursuing fitness goal. Current excuses are options. If progress is slow. If body does not respond. If life gets busy. These excuses are maintained exits. Eliminate them. How? Announce publicly. Announce to everyone. I'm achieving this goal. No excuses will be accepted. No delays will be permitted. No quitting will occur. I continue until achievement. Period. This announcement burns excuse ships. Burns escape routes. Burns quit options. Now, public commitment exists. Public expectation exists. Public accountability exists. Quitting becomes public failure, not private decision. This announcement creates commitment, creates necessity, creates relentlessness. Announcement amplifies commitment, amplifies elimination, amplifies necessity, Private commitment allows private quitting, private escape, private rationalization. I changed my mind. My priorities shifted. Timing was wrong. Private quit has no cost, no accountability, no public failure. Easy to quit privately. Public commitment prevents private quitting, prevents easy escape, prevents costless surrender. Public announcement creates cost, creates accountability, creates public failure if you quit. This cost prevents quitting, prevents surrender, prevents giving up. You told everyone. Everyone knows your commitment. Everyone expects your achievement. Everyone watches your progress. Quitting becomes public embarrassment, public admission of failure, public demonstration of weakness. This public cost creates private persistence, creates continued effort, creates relentless pushing until completion. To avoid public failure, to maintain public credibility, to demonstrate public follow-through. The public commitment creates private relentlessness, creates continuation despite wanting to quit, creates persistence despite difficulty. Because quitting cost is too high, because public failure is unacceptable, because maintained commitment is necessary. That is the key. Make quitting more costly than continuing. Make surrender more painful than persistence. Make giving up more difficult than pushing through. How? By eliminating options, by burning ships, by committing publicly. These actions create costs. Costs of quitting, costs that exceed costs of continuing. Now continuation is easier choice. Persistence is better option. Pushing through is preferred action. Not because difficulty decreased, because quitting cost increased. Increased through elimination. Increased through commitment. Increased through public announcement. You manipulated incentives. Manipulated through commitment. Manipulated to favor continuation. This manipulation is strategic. This manipulation is wise. This manipulation creates relentlessness. Through making quit more costly than continue. Through making surrender more painful than persist. Through making give up more difficult than push through. You design situation that favors continuation. That creates persistence. That produces relentlessness. Through strategic commitment. Through deliberate option elimination. Through calculated ship burning. Jocko Willink teaches, discipline equals freedom. Total commitment is ultimate discipline. Ultimate discipline creates ultimate freedom. Freedom from temptation to quit. Freedom from option to surrender. Freedom from possibility of giving up. When options exist, you're slave to options. Slave to deciding. Slave to reconsidering. Slave to evaluating whether to continue or quit. This slavery is exhausting, is energy draining, is focus destroying. Constant evaluation. Constant reconsideration, constant decision-making. Should I continue? Should I quit? Should I persist? Should I stop? Every day, every difficulty, every challenge. Exhausting. When options are eliminated, you are free from deciding, free from reconsidering, free from evaluating. No decision required, no reconsideration possible, no evaluation necessary. You committed. Options eliminated. Ships burned. Only one path remains. Path of continuation. Path of persistence. Path of completion. You walk this path, not because you decide daily, because you decided once. Decided totally. Decided permanently. That single decision eliminated all future decisions. Eliminated all future reconsiderations. Eliminated all future quits. This elimination is freedom. Freedom to focus completely. Freedom to commit totally. Freedom to persist relentlessly. Because no other option exists. You will resist total commitment. Will resist option elimination. Will resist ship burning. This resistance is normal. Normal and destructive. Normal and preventing success. Normal and maintaining weakness. You want to keep options. Want to maintain escapes. Want to preserve quits. This wanting feels safe, feels smart, feels like wisdom. This wanting is fear. Fear disguised as prudence. Fear disguised as intelligence. Fear disguised as good planning. The fear says, what if you fail? What if goal is wrong? What if commitment is mistake? Fear wants options maintained, wants escapes preserved, wants quits available, for safety, for security, for protection. But options do not protect. Options destroy. Destroy commitment. Destroy effort. Destroy achievement. Through undermining necessity. Through weakening dedication. Through enabling surrender. You must override fear. Must reject safety-seeking. Must eliminate options despite fear. Because success requires total commitment. Requires complete dedication. Requires absolute necessity. Requires no escape. Requires no backup. Requires no quit. Burn ships despite fear. Eliminate options despite resistance. Commit totally despite wanting safety. This override creates commitment. This elimination creates necessity. This burning creates relentlessness. That achieves despite fear. That succeeds despite resistance. That completes despite wanting escape. Options enable quitting. Commitment eliminates options. No option to quit creates necessity to continue. Burn ships. Implementation protocol. Take current important goal. Goal you're pursuing. Goal you want to achieve. Goal you need to complete. Identify all maintained options. All escape routes. All backup plans. All quit possibilities. List them completely. Then eliminate. One by one. Systematically. Permanently. Physical options. Eliminate through action. Quit backup job. Cancel safety plans. Destroy retreat options. Psychological options. Eliminate through announcement. Announce publicly. Announce completely. Announce specifically. Tell everyone your commitment. Tell them your goal. Tell them your timeline. Tell them no quit will occur. This announcement burns psychological ships, creates public accountability, creates social pressure, creates necessity through public commitment. After elimination, only one path remains. Path forward. Path of continuation. Path of persistence until achievement. No retreat path. No escape path. No quit path. Just forward path. You walk forward path. Not because you want a daily. Because you eliminated all other paths. You committed to forward. You eliminated backward. You burned ships completely. Now a necessity exists. Necessity to continue. Necessity to persist. Necessity to achieve. Through elimination. Through commitment. Through burned ships. You understand now that maintaining options enables quitting. You understand that eliminating options creates necessity to continue. You understand that burning ships through action and announcement creates total commitment. Stop maintaining options. Start eliminating options. Stop preserving escape routes. Start burning escape routes. Stop keeping backup plans. Start destroying backup plans. Identify all maintained options, physical and psychological. Eliminate through action. Eliminate through announcement. Burn all ships. Create total commitment. Create complete necessity. Create absolute dedication. To goal. To pursuit. To achievement. With zero escape. With zero backup. With zero quit. This elimination creates freedom. Freedom from deciding. Freedom from reconsidering. Freedom from quitting. Through necessity. Through commitment. Through burned ships. Commit totally. Eliminate completely. Burn permanently. Achieve inevitably. Through commitment that eliminates all options except success. You eliminate options now. Next, you must understand identity's power. Chapter 7. Identity shift. Become person who never quits. You try not to quit. Try to persevere. Try to push through. Try to persist despite difficulty. This trying is effortful. Effortful and temporary. Effortful and unreliable. Effortful and exhausting. Trying requires constant willpower, constant discipline, constant conscious effort, constant decision-making. Willpower depletes. Discipline wavers. Effort exhausts. Decisions fatigue. Then you quit. That is the key. Trying to not quit is not solution. Being non-quitter is solution. Trying is behavior. Being is identity. Behavior requires effort. Identity is automatic. You're trying to behave like non-quitter while maintaining quitter identity. This fails. Always fails. Eventually fails. Inevitably fails. Must become non-quitter. Must shift identity. Must be person who never quits. Not person trying not to quit. Person who never quits. Not person attempting to persevere. Person who always perseveres. Not person forcing continuation. Person whose nature is continuation. This identity shift changes everything. Changes automatic responses. Changes default behaviors. Changes outcomes completely. Quitter identity creates quitting behavior. Non-quitter identity creates continuing behavior. Change identity. Change behavior. Change outcome. Permanently. Consider difference between trying and being. You're trying to be healthy. This requires constant effort, constant decisions, constant willpower. Should I eat healthy food? Should I exercise today? Should I avoid temptation? Every decision requires effort. Every choice depletes willpower. Every day exhausts. Eventually you fail. Eventually you quit. Eventually you return to unhealthy. Because trying is unsustainable. Compared to being healthy. You are a healthy person. Healthy people eat healthy food. Automatically. Without deciding. Without effort. You are a healthy person. You eat healthy food. Not through decision. Through identity. Healthy people exercise regularly. Automatically. Without forcing. Without struggling. You're a healthy person. You exercise regularly. Not through willpower. Through identity. The being is automatic. The being is effortless. The being is sustainable. Same applies to quitting. You're trying not to quit. This requires constant effort, constant discipline, constant willpower. Eventually depletes. Eventually fails. Eventually quits. Compare to being non-quitter. You're a person who never quits. Non-quitters continue through difficulty. Automatically. Without deciding. Without effort. You're a non-quitter. You continue through difficulty. Not through willpower. Through identity. The being is automatic. The being is effortless. The being is permanent. James Clear teaches, identity-based habits are strongest habits. You are not trying to develop habit of not quitting. You are becoming person who never quits. Not doing non-quitting things. Being non-quitter. Not performing persistence behaviors. Being persistent person. Not executing continuation actions. Being continuer. This being creates automatic behaviors. Creates effortless actions. Creates sustainable patterns. Without trying. Without forcing. Without depleting. Through identity. Through who you are. Through what being you are naturally expresses. You are non-quitter. Non-quitter continues. You continue. Automatically. Through being. This is power of identity. Power that exceeds willpower. Power that outlasts discipline. Power that continues permanently. You must shift identity. Must transform being. Must become non-quitter. Not try to not quit. Be non-quitter. This shift is everything. This transformation is total. This becoming is permanent solution to quitting pattern. Trying not to quit requires effort. Being non-quitter is automatic. Shift identity. Change everything permanently. You have choice now. Choice between two paths. Two fundamentally different paths. Two paths with completely different outcomes. First path, continue trying to not quit. Continue using willpower. Continue forcing discipline. Continue making decisions. This path is exhausting. This path is temporary. This path inevitably fails. Because willpower depletes. Because discipline wavers. Because decisions fatigue. Eventually you quit. Always you quit. Guaranteed you quit. Through depletion. Through exhaustion. Through fatigue. Second path, shift identity to non-quitter. Become person who never quits. Transform being from quitter to continuer. This path is sustainable. This path is permanent. This path creates success. Because identity is automatic. Because being is effortless. Because who you are naturally expresses without depletion. You never quit. Not through trying. Through being. Being non-quitter. Being person whose nature is continuation. Being identity that expresses relentlessness automatically. You want permanent solution. You need identity shift. Must become non-quitter. Must transform being. Must change who you are fundamentally. How identity determines action more than willpower is critical understanding. Identity operates automatically. Identity operates unconsciously. Identity operates effortlessly. You are non-smoker. Someone offers cigarette. You decline automatically. Zero thought. Zero decision. Zero willpower. Declining happens automatically. Automatically because identity. You are non-smoker. Non-smokers do not smoke. You do not smoke. Automatic. Effortless. Permanent. You are vegetarian. Someone offers meat. You decline automatically. Zero hesitation. Zero consideration. Zero effort. Declining happens automatically. Automatically because identity. You are vegetarian. Vegetarians do not eat meat. You do not eat meat. Automatic. Effortless. Permanent. Same mechanism applies to quitting. You are non-quitter. Difficulty arrives. You continue automatically. Zero willpower. Zero forcing. Zero trying. Continuing happens automatically. Automatically because identity. You are non-quitter. Non-quitters do not quit. You do not quit. Automatic. Effortless. Permanent. This is power of identity. This is supremacy of being. This is permanence of who you are over what you try to do. Implementation of identity shift requires understanding mechanism. Identity forms through repeated action plus repeated declaration. Action creates evidence. Declaration creates belief. Evidence plus belief creates identity. You repeatedly continue despite wanting to quit. This action creates evidence. Evidence that you are a person who continues. Evidence that you are non-quitter. Evidence that you are persistent. Each continuation adds evidence. Each not quitting strengthens evidence. Each persistence compounds evidence. After hundreds of continuations, evidence is substantial. Substantial enough to support new identity. Substantial enough to justify new belief. Substantial enough to create transformation. But action alone is insufficient. Action creates evidence. Declaration creates belief. You must declare new identity. Declare repeatedly. Declare daily. Declare constantly. Say out loud, I am person who never quits. Say internally, I am non-quitter. Say publicly, I am person who always continues. This declaration programs identity. Programs belief. Programs being. Declaration repeated becomes belief. Belief repeated becomes identity. Identity repeated becomes permanent nature. You declare. You believe. You become. Through repeated declaration combined with repeated action. Try not to quit requires effort. Being non-quitter is automatic. Shift identity. Change everything permanently. Protocol for identity shift begins today. Today you start building non-quitter identity. Start through action and declaration simultaneously. Action. Every time you want to quit and do not quit, you vote for non-quitter identity. Every continuation is vote. Every not quitting is ballot. Every persistence is referendum. Cast vote for non-quitter identity. Vote through action. Vote through continuation. Vote through not quitting. Each vote counts. Each ballot matters. Each referendum builds. You need thousands of votes, thousands of continuations, thousands of not quitting moments. Each vote builds identity. Each continuation strengthens identity. Each not quitting creates identity. Simultaneously, declaration. Declare new identity daily. Multiple times daily. Say out loud, I am person who never quits. Say before every challenge. Say during every difficulty. Say after every continuation. This declaration programs identity. Programs belief. Programs being. through repeated statement, through consistent affirmation, through persistent declaration. Declare hundreds of times, thousands of times. Each declaration builds identity. Each statement strengthens belief. Each affirmation creates being. Combination of action and declaration creates identity shift. Action without declaration builds evidence without belief. Evidence alone insufficient. Declaration without action builds belief without evidence. Belief alone insufficient. Both required. Both essential. Both create transformation. You continue despite wanting to quit. Action. Vote cast. Evidence created. You declare, I am person who never quits. Declaration. Belief programmed. Identity affirmed. Combination creates shift. Creates transformation. Creates becoming. After weeks of combination, shift begins. You start feeling like non-quitter. Start believing you're a person who continues. Start experiencing automatic continuation. After months of combination, shift solidifies. You are becoming non-quitter. Becoming person whose nature is continuation. Becoming being who expresses relentlessness automatically. After a year of combination, shift completes. You are non-quitter. Identity transformed. Being changed. Nature is continuation. Quitting is foreign. Continuation is natural. Relentlessness is automatic. You're no longer person trying not to quit. You're a person who never quits. Identity shifted. Transformation complete. Being changed permanently. That is the key. Identity shift is not instant. Identity shift is process. Process requiring time. Process requiring repetition. Process requiring consistency. First week feels like trying. Feels like forcing. Feels like effort. Because identity has not shifted yet. You are still quitter trying to not quit. Keep going. Keep voting through action. Keep declaring identity. Week becomes month. Month feels different. Feels less like trying. Feels more like being. Because identity is shifting. You are transitioning from quitter to non-quitter. Keep going. Keep voting. Keep declaring. Month becomes year. Year feels natural. Feels automatic. Feels effortless. Because identity has shifted. You're a non-quitter now. Being is transformed. Nature is changed. Continuation is automatic. Not through trying. Through being. Being person who never quits. This transformation takes time. Takes consistency. Takes thousands of votes. Takes thousands of declarations. But transformation is permanent. Identity shift lasts forever. Being change is irreversible. You become non-quitter permanently. Through systematic identity building. Through consistent action and declaration. Through time multiplied by repetition. You will doubt identity shift during process. Will feel like imposter. Feel like pretender. Feel like fraud. You declare, I am person who never quits. Internal voice responds, no, you are not. You quit all the time. This doubt is normal. This doubt is expected. This doubt is part of process. You are transitioning. Transitioning from old identity to new identity. During transition, old identity resists. Resists change. Resists transformation. Resists being replaced. Old identity generates doubt. Generates imposter feeling. Generates fraud sensation. This is death throes of old identity. Death throes of quitter identity. Death throes of surrenderer being. Ignore doubt. Override imposter feeling. Reject fraud sensation. Continue voting through action. Continue declaring new identity. Continue building through repetition. Old identity weakens with each vote. Weakens with each declaration. Eventually dies. Dies completely. Dies permanently. New identity strengthens with each vote. Strengthens with each declaration. Eventually dominates. Dominates completely. Dominates permanently. Doubt disappears. Imposter feeling vanishes. Fraud sensation ends. New identity is established. New being is created. New you is real. You are non-quitter. Not trying to be. Actually are. Identity shifted. Being transformed. Nature changed. permanently. David Goggins demonstrates identity shift. Was quitter, was overweight, was going nowhere. He shifted identity. Shifted from quitter to non-quitter. Shifted from soft to hard. Shifted from weak to relentless. How? Through action and declaration. Through thousands of continuations. Through constant affirmation. Through relentless identity building. He became person who never quits. Became through process. Became through time. Became through consistency. You can execute same process. Can achieve same shift. Can create same transformation. From quitter to non-quitter. From weak to relentless. From trying to being. Through systematic identity building. Through consistent action and declaration. Through time and repetition. You become non-quitter. Not through wishing. Not through hoping. Not through trying. Through building. Through voting. Through declaring. Through becoming. Systematically. Consistently. Permanently. Try not to quit requires effort. Being non-quitter is automatic. Shift identity. Change everything permanently. Start identity shift protocol immediately. Today. Now. Right now. First, declare out loud. Say, I am person who never quits. Say it now. Say it with conviction. Say it with belief. Even if belief feels fake. Even if declaration feels false. Say it anyway. This is first declaration. First of thousands. Each declaration builds identity. Second, identify next urge to quit. Next desire to stop. Next want to give up. When this urge arrives, continue anyway. This is first vote. First of thousands. Each vote builds identity. Third, combine. Continue despite urge. Then declare, I am person who never quits. Action plus declaration. Vote plus affirmation. Evidence plus belief. This combination builds identity. Builds being. Builds transformation. Repeat combination thousands of times. Every urge to quit is training moment. Training moment for identity building. Continue despite urge. Declare identity after. Repeat forever. Identity shifts. Being transforms. You become non-quitter. Permanently. Through systematic building. Through consistent practice. Through relentless identity creation. You understand now that trying not to quit is temporary and depleting. You understand that being non-quitter is permanent and automatic. You understand that identity shift requires action votes plus identity declarations. Stop trying to not quit. Start becoming non-quitter. Stop forcing continuation through willpower. Start expressing continuation through identity. Stop making decisions not to quit. Start being person who never quits. Vote through action. Every continuation despite urge is vote for non-quitter identity. Declare through statement. Every affirmation of identity builds belief. Combine action and declaration. Thousands of times. Build identity. Build being. Build transformation. From quitter to non-quitter. From trying to being. From effort to automaticity. Through identity shift. Through systematic building. Through permanent transformation. Declare now, I am person who never quits. Continue next urge. Build identity. Become non-quitter. Permanently. You shift identity now. Next, you must understand failure redefinition. Chapter 8. Redefine failure. Only quitting is real failure. You define failure as not succeeding, as not achieving, as not reaching goal, as not completing objective, as not hitting target. This definition creates quitting, creates surrender, creates giving up. Why? Because success is distant. Achievement is far. Goal is unreached. Objective is incomplete. Target is missed. Under this definition, you are currently failing, currently unsuccessful, currently not achieving, currently falling short. This feeling creates discouragement. Discouragement creates quitting. You quit because you feel like failure, feel like you are not succeeding, feel like you're not achieving, feel like you are failing completely. That is the key. Your failure definition is creating your quitting. Your definition of failure as not yet successful creates feeling of failure. Feeling of failure creates quitting behavior. Must redefine failure. Must change definition. Must create definition that prevents quitting instead of causing quitting. New definition. Only quitting is failure. Only surrender is failure. Only giving up is failure. Everything else is process, is progress, is path to success. Not failure. Never failure. Only quitting is failure. This redefinition changes everything. Changes psychology. Changes behavior. Changes outcome. Changes life. Consider impact of current definition. You pursue difficult goal. Goal requires months of effort. Months of struggle. Months of no visible results. Week 1. No success yet. Current definition says failing. Week 2. Still no success. Current definition says still failing. Week 3. Progress invisible. Current definition says failure continues. Week 4. Results absent. Current definition says complete failure. By week 4, you feel like total failure. Feel discouraged. Feel defeated. Feel like giving up. This feeling creates quitting. You quit. Stop pursuing goal. Abandon effort. Surrender pursuit. Under current definition, you are failing every week. Failing from start to quit. Failing completely. Failing totally. This definition created discouragement that created quitting. Now consider same scenario with new definition. Week 1. No success yet, but did not quit. New definition says succeeding. Week 2. Still no success, but continued anyway. New definition says still succeeding. Week 3. Progress invisible, but persisted regardless. New definition says success continues. Week 4. Results absent, but never surrendered. New definition says complete success. By week 4, you feel successful. Feel encouraged. Feel like continuing. This feeling prevents quitting. You continue. Keep pursuing goal. Maintain effort. Sustain pursuit. Under new definition, you are succeeding every week. Succeeding from start to present. Succeeding completely. Succeeding totally. This definition created encouragement that created continuation. Only quitting is failure. Continuing is always success. Redefine failure. Continue forever. Never fail. The difference is total. Total and profound. Total and transformative. Total and permanent. Same situation. Same difficulty. Same struggle. Same lack of visible results. Different definition. Different feeling. Different behavior. Different outcome. Old definition created failure feeling that created quitting behavior that created actual failure. New definition created success feeling that created continuation behavior that created eventual success. The definition determined everything. Determined feeling. Determined behavior. Determined outcome. You must adopt new definition. Must internalize new understanding. Must make new definition automatic response to difficulty. When you struggle without visible success, you're not failing. You're succeeding. Succeeding by not quitting. Succeeding by continuing. Succeeding by persisting. This is success. Real success. True success. Only quitting is failure. Everything else is success. This understanding is revolutionary. This definition is transformative. This reframe is essential for relentlessness. Why your current failure definition creates quitting requires deeper understanding. Current definition measures failure by distance from goal. Far from goal equals failing. Close to goal equals succeeding. This measurement creates problems. Multiple problems. First problem, early discouragement. Start of any difficult pursuit, you are far from goal. Maximum distance. Under current definition, maximum failure. Maximum discouragement. Maximum urge to quit. Right at start. When momentum is weakest. When commitment is newest. When persistence is untested. Current definition creates maximum quitting pressure at worst possible time. At beginning. When continuation is hardest. When quitting is easiest. Second problem, continuous discouragement. Most difficult goals require sustained effort over long periods. Long periods of being far from goal. Under current definition, long periods of failure. Long periods of discouragement. Long periods of wanting to quit. Current definition creates sustained quitting pressure throughout entire pursuit. From beginning to end. Constantly. Relentlessly. Third problem, motivation destruction. Motivation comes from feeling successful, feeling like winner, feeling like progressing. Current definition prevents these feelings. Prevents feeling successful, prevents feeling like winner, prevents feeling progress, until very end, until goal achieved. Current definition destroys motivation throughout pursuit, destroys fuel needed for continuation, destroys psychological support required for persistence. New definition solves all three problems. Solves completely, solves elegantly, solves permanently. New definition measures failure by quitting only. Continuing equals succeeding. Quitting equals failing. Simple, clear, powerful. First solution, early encouragement. Start pursuit, you continue. Under new definition, you succeed. Immediate success. Immediate encouragement. Immediate motivation to continue. Right at start. When momentum is weakest. When commitment is newest. When persistence is untested. New definition creates maximum continuation support at best possible time. At beginning. When support is most needed. When encouragement is most powerful. Second solution, continuous encouragement. Throughout pursuit, you continue. Under new definition, you keep succeeding. Continuous success. Continuous encouragement. Continuous motivation to continue. New definition creates sustained continuation support throughout entire pursuit. From beginning to end. Constantly. Relentlessly. Third solution, motivation sustenance. New definition creates feeling of success. Feeling of winning. Feeling of progress. Every day you continue. Every moment you do not quit. Every instance you persist. You succeed. You win. You progress. This feeling sustains motivation. Sustains fuel for continuation. Sustains psychological support for persistence. Throughout entire pursuit. Until goal achieved. The new definition supports continuation. Old definition undermined continuation. New definition creates relentlessness. Old definition created quitting. Only quitting is failure. Continuing is always success. Redefine failure. Continue forever. Never fail. Implementation begins with conscious adoption. Adopt new definition consciously. Deliberately. Explicitly. Say out loud. Only quitting is failure. Continuing is always success. Say it now. Say with conviction. Say with belief. This conscious adoption is critical. Critical because old definition is deeply programmed. Programmed since childhood. Programmed by culture. Programmed by education. Programmed by everyone around you. Old definition is automatic. Unconscious. Default. Must override with conscious new definition. Must replace through deliberate adoption. Must reprogram through explicit commitment. Conscious adoption is first step. First of many steps. First that enables all others. Say again, only quitting is failure. Continuing is always success. This is new definition. This is new reality. This is new truth. Adopt it. Believe it. Live it. Second step, daily reinforcement. New definition must become automatic. Automatic requires repetition. Requires daily reinforcement. Requires consistent programming. Every day, reinforce new definition. How? Through celebration. Celebrate continuation. Celebrate not quitting. Celebrate persisting. Daily. Explicitly. Consciously. End each day by acknowledging, I did not quit today. That is success. That is victory. That is achievement. This daily celebration reinforces new definition. Reinforces continuation value. Reinforces non-quitting importance. After weeks of daily reinforcement, new definition begins replacing old definition. After months, new definition dominates old definition. After year, new definition is automatic, is unconscious, is default. You no longer measure failure by distance from goal. You measure failure by quitting only. Continuing equals success. Always, without exception, regardless of distance from goal, regardless of visible results, regardless of apparent progress. You continue, therefore you succeed. This becomes automatic understanding, automatic feeling, automatic truth, through daily reinforcement, through consistent celebration, through persistent programming. Third step, resist cultural programming. Culture disagrees with new definition. Culture measures failure by results, by achievements, by completions. Culture says, no results equals failure. No achievement equals failure. No completion equals failure. Culture is wrong. Culture creates quitters. Culture creates surrenderers. Culture creates mass failure. Through wrong definition, through destructive measurement, through quitting-inducing framework. You must resist cultural programming, must reject cultural definition, must oppose cultural measurement. When culture says you are failing because results are absent, reject this. Say internally, I am succeeding because I continue. When culture says you are losing because achievement is distant, reject this. Say internally, I am winning because I persist. When culture says you are a failure because goal is unreached, reject this. Say internally, I am success because I never quit. This resistance is critical. Critical because cultural programming is constant, is everywhere, is relentless, must resist constantly, must reject consistently, must oppose relentlessly, through maintained commitment to new definition, through sustained belief in new measurement, through permanent adoption of new framework. Despite what culture says, despite what others believe, despite what everyone measures, you maintain new definition. You succeed through continuation. You fail only through quitting. This resistance creates independence, creates freedom, creates relentlessness. Through rejecting cultural programming that creates quitting. Only quitting is failure. Continuing is always success. Redefine failure. Continue forever. Never fail. Advanced application. Celebrate micro successes, not just daily continuation. Micro continuation. Every moment you want to quit and do not. Every urge you resist. Every desire you override. Each is success. Each deserves celebration. Each proves new definition. Moment by moment success. Hour by hour victory. Decision by decision achievement. This micro celebration creates constant positive reinforcement, creates continuous success feeling, creates sustained motivation. You feel successful constantly, feel victorious continuously, feel achieving persistently, not waiting for distant goal, not depending on far achievement, not requiring completed objective, succeeding now, succeeding constantly, succeeding through every micro continuation. This constant success feeling creates constant motivation, creates continuous fuel, creates sustained persistence. Through micro celebration of micro success defined by micro continuation. Every small not quit is large success. Every tiny persistence is huge victory. Every minor continuation is major achievement. Celebrate these constantly. This celebration sustains relentlessness, sustains never quit capacity, sustains permanent continuation. Through feeling successful continuously instead of feeling failure until distant completion. Ryan Holiday teaches, the obstacle is the way. The difficulty is the path. The struggle is the success. Not obstacle to success. The success itself. This aligns with new definition. You struggle. You persist through struggle. This persistence is success. Not path to success. The success. You face obstacle. You continue despite obstacle. This continuation is achievement, not path to achievement. The achievement. You experience difficulty. You push through difficulty. This pushing is victory, not path to victory. The victory. The process is the success. The journey is the achievement. The struggle is the victory. Not waiting for destination. Not depending on completion. Not requiring finish. Succeeding now. Achieving now. Victorious now. Through process. Through journey. Through struggle. Through continuation despite all three. This understanding aligns with new failure definition. This understanding supports relentlessness. This understanding creates never quit capacity. Through recognizing success in process. Through seeing achievement in journey. Through experiencing victory in struggle. All through continuation. All through not quitting. All through persistence. This is success. This is achievement. This is victory. Now, not later. Not eventually. Not someday. Now. Through continuation. Through new definition. Through redefining failure as only quitting. You will encounter setbacks. Encounter obstacles. Encounter failures under old definition. Business loses money. Old definition. Failure. New definition. Continuing anyway is success. Relationship faces crisis. Old definition. Failure. New definition. Working through it is success. Goal progress reverses. Old definition. Failure. New definition. Persisting regardless is success. The setbacks are not failure. The obstacles are not failure. The reversals are not failure. Only quitting is failure. You continue despite setbacks. You persist despite obstacles. You push despite reversals. You succeed. You achieve. You win. Through continuation. Through new definition. Through redefining failure correctly. This redefinition changes experience of difficulty. Changes interpretation of setbacks. Changes response to obstacles. Setbacks become opportunities. Opportunities to succeed through continuation. Obstacles become occasions. Occasions to achieve through persistence. Reversals become chances. Chances to win through pushing. All through continuation. All through not quitting. All through persistence. This is power of new definition. This is transformation through redefinition. This is relentlessness through correct understanding of failure. You understand now that defining failure as not yet successful creates discouragement and quitting. You understand that defining failure as only quitting creates encouragement and continuation. You understand that celebrating continuation instead of completion sustains motivation. Stop measuring failure by distance from goal. Start measuring failure by quitting only. Stop feeling like failure when results are absent. Start feeling successful when you continue anyway. Stop waiting for completion to celebrate. Start celebrating continuation immediately and constantly. Adopt new definition consciously. Say out loud. Only quitting is failure. Continuing is always success. Reinforce daily. Celebrate every continuation. Resist cultural programming. Reject cultural definition. Celebrate micro successes. Every moment of not quitting is success. Every instance of continuation is victory. Every decision to persist is achievement. This redefinition transforms psychology, transforms feeling, transforms behavior, transforms outcome, from discouragement to encouragement, from quitting to continuation, from failure to success, through correct definition, through accurate measurement, through true understanding. Only quitting is failure. Everything else is success. Redefine now. Continue forever. Never fail. You redefine failure now. Next, you must understand breakthrough timing. Chapter 9. When you want to quit most, continue longer. You want to quit most right before breakthrough. Right before success. Right before achievement. Right before completion. Right before victory. This is pattern. Universal pattern. Consistent pattern. Predictable pattern. Reliable pattern. That is the key. Maximum urge to quit signals proximity to goal. Signals nearness to success. Signals imminence of breakthrough. Signals approach of achievement. Why? Because difficulty is greatest before breakthrough. Resistance is strongest before success. Obstacle is largest before achievement. Pain is maximum before victory. You encounter this maximum difficulty. Feel maximum urge to quit. Feel overwhelming desire to stop. Feel unbearable need to surrender. This urge is signal. Signal that you're close. Signal that success is near. Signal that breakthrough is imminent. Signal that achievement is approaching. You have been interpreting signal wrong. Interpreting urge to quit as signal to quit. This interpretation is backwards. Completely backwards. Totally backwards. Devastatingly backwards. Urge to quit is signal to continue longer. Signal to push harder. Signal to persist more intensely. Signal to double down completely. Because breakthrough is near. Because success is close. Because achievement is imminent. Because victory is approaching. Reinterpret the signal. When you want to quit most, continue longer. This continuation accesses breakthrough. Accesses success. Accesses achievement. Accesses victory. Consider why difficulty peaks before breakthrough. Any significant achievement requires breaking through barrier. Barrier of current capacity. Barrier of current capability. Barrier of current limit. This barrier resists breaking. Resists strongly. Resists maximally right before breaking. Physical example. Breaking strength plateau. You lift same weight for weeks. Trying to increase. Body resists increase. Resists strongly. Resists maximally. You feel stuck. Feel plateau. Feel like progress impossible. Urge to quit arrives. Urge is maximum. Maximum right before breakthrough. Right before body adapts. Right before strength increases. Right before plateau breaks. If you quit during maximum urge, you miss breakthrough. Miss breakthrough that was imminent. Miss adaptation that was coming. Miss increase that was next. Mental example. Learning difficult concept. You study for weeks. Concept remains unclear. Mind resists understanding. Resists strongly. Resists maximally. You feel confused. Feel stuck. Feel like understanding impossible. Urge to quit arrives. Urge is maximum. Maximum right before breakthrough. Right before mind grasps. Right before understanding clicks. Right before concept clarifies. If you quit during maximum urge, you miss breakthrough. Misunderstanding that was imminent. Miss clarity that was coming. Miss mastery that was next. Pattern is universal. Difficulty peaks before breakthrough. Urge to quit peaks with difficulty. Breakthrough comes after peak. If you continue, if you persist, if you push through maximum urge, you access breakthrough. You achieve success. You reach victory. Maximum urge to quit signals proximity to breakthrough. When you want to quit most, continue longer. You have choice now. Choice at moment of maximum urge. Moment of peak difficulty. Moment of greatest desire to quit. First choice, obey urge. Quit at maximum. Stop at peak. Surrender at moment of greatest difficulty. This choice guarantees missing breakthrough. Guarantees missing success that was near. Guarantees abandoning achievement that was close. Guarantees surrendering victory that was imminent. This choice is tragic. Tragic because breakthrough is next. Success was near. Achievement was close. Victory was imminent. You quit before accessing. Quit before reaching. Quit before achieving. Quit before winning. This tragedy repeats constantly. People quit at 90%. Quit at 95%. Quit at 99%. Quit right before breakthrough. Right before success. Right before achievement. Right before victory. Because urge was maximum. Because difficulty was peak. Because pain was greatest. They interpreted maximum urge as signal to quit. Wrong interpretation. Devastating interpretation. Failure creating interpretation. Second choice. Override urge. Continue at maximum. Persist at peak. push through moment of greatest difficulty. This choice guarantees accessing breakthrough, guarantees reaching success that is near, guarantees achieving goal that is close, guarantees winning victory that is imminent. This choice is wisdom. Wisdom because breakthrough is next, success is near, achievement is close, victory is imminent. You continue despite urge, continue despite difficulty, continue despite pain. You access, you reach, you achieve, you win. This wisdom creates success, creates breakthrough, creates achievement, creates victory through correct interpretation, through override of urge, through continuation at maximum. This is what separates successful from unsuccessful, achievers from quitters, winners from losers. Successful continue at maximum urge. Unsuccessful quit at maximum urge. Same situation, same difficulty, same maximum urge. Different response, different outcome, completely different outcome. You must choose second option, must override urge, must continue at maximum, must push through peak difficulty. This continuation accesses breakthrough. This persistence reaches success. This pushing wins victory. Implementation requires protocol. Protocol for responding to maximum urge. Protocol for handling peak difficulty. Protocol for managing greatest desire to quit. Normal response to maximum urge. Quit. Maximum urge feels unbearable. Feels like absolute limit. Feels like end of capacity. Feels like no more is possible. You quit. This normal response creates normal results. Normal results are failure. Normal results are missing breakthrough. Normal results are surrendering before success. You do not want normal results. You want extraordinary results. Extraordinary results require extraordinary response. Trained response to maximum urge. Double down. Maximum urge is signal. Signal to increase effort. Signal to extend duration. Signal to intensify commitment. Signal to do opposite of quit. You encounter maximum urge to quit. Instead of quitting, double down. If planning to continue 1 hour, continue 2 hours. If planning to try one approach, try 2 approaches. If planning to persist 1 week, persist 2 weeks. If planning to make 10 attempts, make 20 attempts. Double the commitment when urge is maximum. This doubling contradicts urge, contradicts feeling, contradicts impulse, contradicts every instinct screaming quit. This contradiction is power. Power that accesses breakthrough. Power that reaches success. Power that achieves goal. Power that wins victory. Tim Grover teaches in Relentless. Closers double down when others quit. When pressure is maximum, closers increase effort. When difficulty is peak, closers intensify commitment. When everyone else quits, closers continue. This is what separates closers from everyone else. Separates winners from losers. Separates champions from competitors. Closers understand maximum difficulty signals proximity to winning. Signals nearness to success. Signals imminence of breakthrough. They double down at maximum. Double effort. Double commitment. Double intensity. While others quit. While others surrender. While others give up. Closers are doubling down. Closers are increasing effort. Closers are intensifying commitment. This doubling while others quit creates victory, creates championship, creates closing. You must become closer, must understand maximum difficulty signals proximity, must double down when urge is maximum. This doubling creates breakthrough, creates success, creates achievement, creates victory through doing opposite of quitting, through increasing when others decrease, through intensifying when others quit. This is closer mentality. This must become your mentality. Maximum urge to quit signals proximity to breakthrough. When you want to quit most, continue longer. Advanced protocol. One more principle. Principle for handling maximum urge. For responding to peak difficulty. For managing overwhelming desire to quit. You want to quit. Do one more. One more repetition. One more attempt. One more hour. One more day. One more call. One more try. One more push. One more anything. Just one more before considering quitting. Execute one more. Experience often changes. Often, one more leads to another more. Another more leads to third more. Third more leads to continuation. Continuation leads to breakthrough. The one more prevented premature quitting, prevented missing breakthrough, prevented failure right before success. Make one more automatic response to urge to quit. Every urge, every desire to stop, every want to give up. One more first, then reassess. Usually, one more creates momentum. Momentum creates continuation. Continuation creates breakthrough. Sometimes, one more is actual breakthrough, is actual success, is actual achievement. One more was all that remained. One more was distance to victory. You wanted to quit. You did one more. You achieved breakthrough. You accessed success. You reached achievement. You won victory. Through one more. Through simple protocol. Through powerful principle. One more when you want to quit most. That is the key. Breakthrough often requires only one more. One more attempt after you want to quit. One more push after you feel done. One more try after you feel finished. One more anything after maximum urge. That one more is breakthrough. That one more is success. That one more is achievement. That one more is victory. But you never access that one more through quitting. Never reach that one more through stopping. Never achieve that one more through surrendering. You access through one more protocol. Through doing one more despite urge. Through pushing one more despite feeling. Through trying one more despite desire. This one more accesses breakthrough. This one more reaches success. This one more achieves victory. After thousands of one mores, pattern becomes clear. Pattern becomes obvious. Pattern becomes trusted. Maximum urge does signal proximity, does indicate nearness, does predict imminence, of breakthrough, of success, of achievement. You learn to trust pattern, learn to trust signal, learn to trust proximity prediction. When maximum urge arrives, you think breakthrough is near, success is close, achievement is imminent, must continue, must persist, must do one more. This thinking prevents quitting, prevents surrendering, prevents missing breakthrough. This thinking creates continuation, creates persistence, creates accessing breakthrough that was near. Through understanding pattern, through trusting signal, through continuing when urge is maximum, you will experience false peaks. Peaks that feel like maximum but are not. Peaks where you continue and breakthrough does not arrive. These false peaks are part of process, part of building, part of journey. False peaks are training. Training for true peak. Training for actual maximum. Training for a real breakthrough moment. You hit false peak. Feel maximum urge. Continue anyway. Breakthrough does not arrive. This is not failure. This is training. Training your continuation capacity. Training your push-through ability. Training your one more discipline. Each false peak builds capacity, builds ability, builds discipline. So when true peak arrives, when actual maximum appears, when real breakthrough moment comes, you have capacity, you have ability, you have discipline to continue, to persist, to do one more, to access breakthrough. Without false peaks, you lack training. Without training, you lack capacity. Without capacity, you quit at true peak. You miss actual breakthrough. You surrender before real success. False peaks are necessary, are valuable, are essential for building capacity that continues through true peak, that persists through actual maximum, that accesses real breakthrough. Do not despair at false peaks. Celebrate them. They are building you, building capacity, building relentlessness, building ability to continue through true peak when it arrives. Maximum urge to quit signals proximity to breakthrough. When you want to quit most, continue longer. Real-world application. You are pursuing difficult goal. You have been working for months. Months of effort. Months of struggle. Months of no visible breakthrough. You feel exhausted. Feel depleted. Feel done. Urge to quit is maximum. Maximum you have ever felt. Maximum you can imagine. This is moment. Moment of choice. Moment that determines everything. Moment that separates success from failure. You can quit. Quit at maximum urge. Quit at peak difficulty. Quit right before breakthrough. Or you can double down. Can do one more. Can continue despite maximum urge. Can push through peak difficulty. Can access breakthrough that is near. You choose second option. You double down. You do one more month. One more week. One more day. One more attempt. You continue. You persist. You push. Breakthrough arrives. Success comes. Achievement happens. Victory wins. Not because you were stronger. Because you continued at maximum. Because you doubled down at peak. Because you did one more when everyone else quit. This is pattern. This is truth. This is law. Maximum urge signals proximity. Continuation at maximum accesses breakthrough. Quitting at maximum misses breakthrough. Choose continuation. Choose doubling down. Choose one more. Access breakthrough. Reach success. Achieve victory. Win completely. You understand now that maximum urge to quit signals proximity to breakthrough. You understand that difficulty peaks right before success. You understand that doubling down at maximum urge accesses breakthrough. Stop quitting when urge is strongest. Start continuing longer when urge is maximum. Stop interpreting maximum urge as signal to quit. Start interpreting maximum urge as signal to double down. Stop surrendering at peak difficulty. Start pushing harder at peak difficulty. Next maximum urge, implement protocol. Feel maximum urge to quit. Recognize this as signal. Signal that breakthrough is near. Then double down. Double effort. Double commitment. Double intensity. Or do one more. One more attempt. One more push. One more try. Before even considering quit. This continuation accesses breakthrough. This doubling reaches success. This one more achieves victory. Through continuing when urge is maximum. Through persisting at peak difficulty. Through pushing when everyone else quits. This separates winners from losers. Successful from unsuccessful. Achievers from quitters. Continue at maximum. Win at peak. Access breakthrough through longest continuation at moment of strongest urge to quit. This is wisdom. This is truth. This is relentlessness. You continue at maximum now. Finally, you must understand permanence. Chapter 10. Relentlessness is forever. Never quit mentality is permanent practice. You build relentlessness temporarily. Practice not quitting for weeks. Build capacity for months. Develop never quit mentality briefly. Then stop practicing. Stop continuing when difficult. Stop persisting when urged to quit. Capacity disappears. Results vanish. Progress reverses. Relentlessness evaporates. That is the key. Relentlessness is not temporary achievement. Relentlessness is not destination you reach. Relentlessness is not status you attain once. Relentlessness is permanent practice. Practice you maintain forever. Practice you execute daily. Practice you sustain permanently. Stop practicing. Start losing capacity. Start quitting again. Start returning to quitter identity. Start reverting to surrender pattern. Start degrading to weakness baseline. This is law. This is reality. This is truth you must accept completely. Relentless people are not people who built relentlessness once. Relentless people are people who practice relentlessness always. Who continue always. Who never quit ever. Not because they built capacity years ago. Because they maintain capacity daily. Through daily practice. Through permanent continuation. Through forever commitment to never quitting. You need same understanding. Same commitment. Same permanence. Relentlessness is not destination. Relentlessness is journey. Journey that never ends. Journey that requires daily practice. Journey that demands permanent commitment. Journey forever. Consider why temporary practice creates temporary results. Relentlessness is adaptation. Mental adaptation. Psychological adaptation. Identity adaptation. Adaptation to not quitting. Adaptation to continuing despite difficulty. Adaptation to persisting regardless of urge. Adaptation requires consistent stimulus. Remove stimulus. Adaptation reverses. Body adapts to stress during training. Body adapts away from stress during no training. Mind adapts to relentlessness during practice. Mind adapts away from relentlessness during no practice. You practice not quitting for a month. Mind adapts, builds never quit capacity, develops continuation reflex, creates persistence pattern. Month builds adaptation. Then you stop practicing. Stop continuing through difficulty. Stop persisting despite urge. Stop executing never quit pattern. Mind reverses adaptation. Loses never quit capacity. Degrades continuation reflex. Destroys persistence pattern. Month of no practice reverses month of practice. Returns you to baseline. Returns you to quitter. Returns you to previous weakness. This reversal is guaranteed. This degradation is inevitable. This return is automatic. Without permanent practice. Without sustained continuation. Without forever commitment. Temporary practice creates temporary capacity. Permanent practice creates permanent capacity. You want permanent relentlessness. You need permanent practice. Accept this reality. Commit to this permanence. Execute this forever. David Goggins maintains relentlessness through permanent practice. Not through past achievement. Through current practice. Daily practice. Permanent practice. Forever practice. He built relentlessness years ago. He maintains relentlessness today. Through daily continuation. Through permanent not quitting. Through sustained practice that never stops. He cannot stop practicing. Cannot take break. Cannot rest from discipline. The moment practice stops, capacity degrades. Relentlessness weakens. Never quit mentality atrophies. He understands this. He accepts this. He practices permanently. Daily challenges. Daily discomfort. Daily continuation despite urge to quit. This permanent practice maintains permanent relentlessness. Maintains permanent capacity. Maintains permanent never quit identity. You need same understanding. Same acceptance. Same permanent practice. Cannot build relentlessness for a year, then coast forever. Cannot develop capacity for months, then maintain automatically. Cannot create never quit identity, then stop reinforcing. Relentlessness requires permanent practice. Requires daily reinforcement. Requires forever commitment. This permanence creates permanent capacity. Creates permanent relentlessness. Creates permanent never quit identity. Through practice that never stops. Through commitment that never wavers. Through continuation that never ends. Relentlessness is not achievement. Relentlessness is permanent practice. Practice forever or lose everything. You have choice now. Choice that determines everything about your future. Everything about your capacity. Everything about your achievement. Everything about your success. First choice, practice relentlessness temporarily. Practice for weeks. Practice for months. Practice for a year. Then stop. Stop practicing. Stop continuing. Stop persisting. This temporary practice creates temporary capacity. Creates temporary results. Creates temporary relentlessness. Then loses everything. Loses capacity. Loses results. Loses relentlessness. Returns to baseline. Returns to quitter. Returns to weakness. Returns to failure. This choice is common. This choice is normal. This choice is guaranteed failure. Normal people practice temporarily. Normal people lose everything. Normal people return to weakness. You do not want normal outcome. You want extraordinary outcome. Extraordinary outcome requires extraordinary choice. Second choice, practice relentlessness permanently. Practice daily. Practice forever. Practice without end. This permanent practice creates permanent capacity. Creates permanent results. Creates permanent relentlessness. Maintains everything. Maintains capacity. Maintains results. maintains relentlessness, sustains advancement, sustains achievement, sustains strength, sustains success. This choice is rare. This choice is extraordinary. This choice is guaranteed success. Extraordinary people practice permanently. Extraordinary people maintain everything. Extraordinary people sustain strength. Choose extraordinary. Choose permanent practice. Choose forever commitment. This choice determines everything. Implementation requires daily non-negotiables. Non-negotiable practices. Every day, forever, without exception, without excuse, without omission. 3 practices that maintain relentlessness. Maintain never quit capacity. Maintain permanent strength. First practice, identify one moment where you want to quit. One urge to stop. One desire to give up. One want to surrender. Continues despite that urge. Continue consciously. Continue deliberately. Continue intentionally. This daily not quitting maintains capacity, maintains identity, maintains relentlessness, maintains never quit reflex. 1 moment daily. Minimum. More is better. 1 is required. 0 is degradation. 0 is reversal. 0 is return a quitter. Practice daily. Maintain capacity. Sustain relentlessness. Through 1 continuation minimum. Through 1 not quitting moment. Through 1 persistence despite urge. Every day. Forever. Without exception. This is first non-negotiable. This is requirement. This is price of permanent relentlessness. Second practice, reframe 1 difficulty. 1 challenge creating pain. 1 hardship creating discomfort. 1 obstacle creating urge to quit. Reframe consciously. Reframe deliberately. Reframe specifically. Say internally or externally. This pain is temporary. Quitting is permanent. I continue. This daily reframe maintains perspective, maintains wisdom, maintains continuation mentality, maintains correct understanding of pain versus quit. 1 reframe daily. Minimum. More is better. 1 is required. 0 is losing perspective. 0 is forgetting wisdom. 0 is returning to quitter thinking. Reframe daily. Maintain perspective. Sustain wisdom. Through 1 conscious reframe. Through 1 deliberate pain versus quit understanding. Through 1 specific continuation decision. Every day. Forever. Without exception. This is second non-negotiable. This is requirement. This is price of permanent perspective. Third practice, declare identity once. Say out loud or internally, I am person who never quits. Say with conviction. Say with belief. Say with commitment. Say with identity. This daily declaration maintains identity, maintains being, maintains never quit self, maintains relentless nature. 1 declaration daily. Minimum. More is better. 1 is required. 0 is identity erosion. 0 is being degradation. 0 is returning to quitter identity. Declare daily. Maintain identity. Sustain being. Through 1 conscious declaration. Through 1 deliberate identity statement. Through 1 specific I am affirmation. Every day. Forever. Without exception. This is third non-negotiable. This is requirement. This is price of permanent identity. Relentlessness is not achievement. Relentlessness is permanent practice. Practice forever or lose everything. 3 practices. Every day. Forever. This is minimum. This is requirement. This is non-negotiable. Skip 1 practice. Begin losing capacity. Skip 1 day. Begin weakening identity. Skip 1 week. Revert significantly toward quitter. Skip 1 month. Return almost completely to baseline. The practices must be daily, must be permanent, must be forever. No breaks allowed. No exceptions permitted. No vacations granted. Daily practice forever. This is price of permanent capacity. This is cost of sustained relentlessness. This is requirement of never quit identity. Pay price daily. Maintain capacity permanently. Skip payment. Lose capacity immediately. The exchange is fair. The requirement is clear. The choice is yours. Practice daily, forever, and maintain permanently. Or stop practicing and lose everything. Choose wisely. Choose daily practice. Choose permanent commitment. Choose forever execution. This choice creates permanent relentlessness, creates sustained capacity, creates lifetime never-quit identity through daily practice that never stops. James Clear teaches in Atomic Habits, you do not rise to level of your goals, you fall to level of your systems. Your system is 3 daily practices, 3 non-negotiables. Every day, forever. This system maintains relentlessness. This system prevents degradation. This system sustains capacity. Without system, you rely on motivation. Motivation fluctuates. Motivation disappears. Motivation fails. With system, you rely on discipline. Discipline is consistent. Discipline is reliable. Discipline is permanent. System is discipline structure. Structure that maintains practice. Structure that sustains execution. Structure that prevents failure. Trust system. Execute practices. Maintain capacity. Daily. Permanently. Forever. System works. Motivation fails. Willpower depletes. Inspiration vanishes. System remains. System executes. System maintains. Through 3 practices. Through daily execution. Through permanent commitment. This is system. This is structure. This is path to permanent relentlessness through permanent practice. After months of daily practice, transformation occurs. Transformation from practicing relentlessness to being relentless. You are not person practicing not quitting. You are person who never quits. Not person trying to persevere. You are person who always perseveres. Not person forcing continuation. You are person whose nature is continuation, whose being is persistence, whose identity is relentless. The practice shaped identity. Identity maintains practice effortlessly. This is goal, not to practice relentlessness through willpower forever. To become relentless through identity transformation. Become through practice. Become through repetition. Become through consistency. The becoming takes time, takes daily practice, takes permanent commitment, but becoming is permanent. Practice is temporary bridge to permanent identity. Temporary but necessary bridge. You practice until you become. Then being relentless is natural expression of who you are. Natural state, natural behavior, natural capacity. This transformation is available. This transformation requires time. This transformation demands daily practice sustained permanently. Practice 3 practices. Every day. Forever. Continue despite 1 urge minimum. Reframe 1 difficulty minimum. Declare identity once minimum. Build through practice. Become through transformation. Remain relentless forever. Through being, not trying. Through identity, not effort. Through who you are permanently. That is the key. Identity transformation happens through consistency. Consistent daily practice. No breaks. No exceptions. No failures. Every day you practice, you reinforce identity. Every day you skip, you weaken identity. Every repetition builds being. Every omission damages being. Consistent practice over 6 months transforms discipline into nature. Over 1 year solidifies transformation completely. Over 2 years makes reversal nearly impossible. Over 5 years makes being relentless as natural as breathing. You're not practicing to practice forever. You are practicing to become person for whom relentlessness is natural, for whom never quit is automatic, for whom continuation is reflexive, for whom persistence is identity. Practice daily. Become permanently. Transform from practicing relentless to being relentless. From doing relentless things to being relentless person. From executing never quit behaviors to being never quit identity. This transformation makes permanent capacity inevitable. makes lifetime maintenance automatic, makes forever relentlessness natural. Through daily practice, through consistent execution, through permanent commitment, practice transforms into being. Being maintains itself. Through identity, through nature, through who you became permanently. You will face challenges to daily practice. Days when tired, days when stressed, days when discipline feels impossible, days when practice seems unnecessary, days when training feels pointless, days when execution feels optional. These days are most important. These days determine trajectory. These days separate permanent from temporary. These days distinguish relentless from quitter. Easy to practice when motivated. Easy to maintain when energized. Easy to execute when feeling strong. Warriors practice when tired. Warriors practice when stressed. Warriors practice when weak. Because practice on hard days builds more than practice on easy days. Because execution during difficulty proves more than execution during ease. Because maintenance through adversity demonstrates more than maintenance through comfort. Hard day practice proves commitment. Easy day practice proves nothing. You practiced every easy day for a month, then quit on first hard day. All practice wasted. All progress lost. All capacity disappeared. You practiced through hard days. Built unbreakable pattern. Built unshakable identity. Built permanent capacity. Hard days matter most. Practice through them. Build permanently through them. Succeed completely because of them. Execute 3 practices on hard days. Execute especially on hard days. Execute particularly on hard days. Hard day execution creates permanent relentlessness. Creates unbreakable capacity. Creates forever, never quit identity. Relentlessness is not achievement. Relentlessness is permanent practice. Practice forever or lose everything. Final understanding. Relentlessness becomes competitive advantage. In world of quitters, never quitter dominates. In environment of surrenderers, continuer wins. In culture of temporary effort, permanent practice succeeds. Your daily practice creates advantage. Advantage that compounds. Compounds daily. Compounds permanently. Other people practice temporarily. Build capacity temporarily. Lose capacity completely. Return to quitter baseline. Return to weakness default. Return to surrender pattern. You practice permanently. Build capacity permanently. Maintain capacity continuously. Sustain relentlessness always. Over time, gap between you and them becomes massive. Massive capacity gap. Massive achievement gap. Massive success gap. Not because you are more talented. Because you practiced daily while they practiced occasionally. Because you committed permanently while they committed temporarily. Because you never quit while they always quit eventually. Your permanent practice created permanent capacity. Their temporary practice created temporary capacity that disappeared. Permanent capacity compounds. Temporary capacity evaporates. You compound. They evaporate. You win. They lose. Through permanent practice. Through daily execution. Through forever commitment to 3 practices that maintain relentlessness permanently. You understand now that relentlessness requires permanent practice, not temporary achievement. You understand that capacity degrades without sustained daily execution. You understand that 3 daily practices maintain never quit identity forever. Stop viewing relentlessness as temporary goal. Start viewing relentlessness as permanent practice. Stop practicing inconsistently. Start practicing daily without exception. Stop seeking breaks from discipline. Start embracing discipline as permanent lifestyle. 3 practices. Every day. Forever. Continue despite 1 urge minimum. Reframe 1 difficulty minimum. Declare identity once minimum. Execute all 3. Daily. Permanently. Successfully. This maintains relentlessness. Sustains capacity. Ensures permanent never quit identity. through practice that never stops, through execution that never pauses, through commitment that never ends. Train permanently, remain relentless permanently, succeed permanently. This is standard. This is requirement. This is reality of permanent relentlessness. Accept it. Commit to it. Live it. Forever. Through 3 practices. Every day. Without exception. This creates permanent relentlessness. This sustains never-quit capacity. This ensures lifetime achievement. Through permanent practice of relentlessness that never ends. You commit to permanent practice now. You have learned 10 principles. You quit because you never built relentlessness. Relentlessness trains through not quitting. Urge to quit is feeling, not command. Pain is temporary. Quitting is permanent. Reasons to quit are rationalizations. Commitment eliminates options. Become person who never quits. Only quitting is failure. Maximum urge signals breakthrough proximity. Relentlessness requires permanent practice. These principles transform quitters into relentless achievers. Transform weakness into strength. Transform surrender into continuation. Transform failure into success. But principles mean nothing without implementation, without daily practice, without permanent commitment. You must execute, must practice, must commit. Starting now, starting today, starting permanently. Continue despite urge. Reframe difficulty. Declare identity. Daily. Forever. Without exception. This is relentlessness. This is never quit mentality. This is permanent practice that creates permanent capacity. Stop quitting when things get hard. Start continuing regardless of difficulty. Build relentless mental strength. Through systematic practice. Through daily execution. Through permanent commitment. The transformation begins now. The practice never ends. Execute permanently. Become relentless permanently. Succeed permanently. Through never quitting again. Through continuing always. Through relentless mental strength maintained forever. You have learned 10 principles that separate the relentless from the quitters. You quit because you never trained perseverance. Training develops the ability. Perseverance is trained through not quitting. Each continuation strengthens it. The urge to quit is a feeling, not a command. Continue despite the urge. Pain is temporary. Quitting is permanent. Choose the temporary over the permanent. Reasons to quit are rationalizations. Reject the rationalizations, but continue anyway. Commitment eliminates options. Burn your bridges. Make continuing your only option. Identity determines action. Become a person who never gives up. Only giving up is failure. Continuing is always success. Maximum momentum signals progress. Redouble your efforts when momentum is at its peak. Perseverance requires constant practice. Maintain it daily, forever. But what matters now is what you do today. Not when you feel ready. Today, right now, you have a choice. Continue giving up when things get tough and achieve nothing meaningful. Or start building persistence immediately and achieve everything you desire. Persistence begins with action. So, the next time you feel like giving up, don't give up. Just keep going. Notice the urge. Acknowledge it. But keep going anyway. The next time you face a challenge, don't run away. Persist. Reframing. The pain is temporary. Giving up is permanent. The next time you rationalize, don't believe it. Reject it. They are excuses, not reasons. Keep going anyway. Commit yourself fully. Eliminate escape routes. Burn your bridges. Declare your identity. Say it out loud. I'm a person who never gives up. Say it every day. Say it before each challenge. Build through action. When you most want to give up, keep going longer. Double down. Do it one more time. Access progress through contradictory impulse. 3 daily practices. Every day, forever. Continue despite an impulse. Restructure a difficulty. Declare your identity once. These are not suggestions. They are orders. Stop giving up when things get tough. Start continuing regardless of the difficulty. Persistence awaits your commitment. Your ability to never give up awaits your training. Your achievement awaits your continuity. Execute now. Never give up. Always continue. Build relentless mental strength through permanent practice, through daily continuity, through an eternal commitment to never give up. Never. Not even once. Never. Continue forever. Overcome everything. Through persistence.